Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the Sunday Showdown, July 6th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
The Jason Gregor Show. On Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, the Gregor Show is presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province at PlayAlberta.ca. Hope you are having a lovely day. Hope you had a fantastic Canada Day yesterday, celebrating our wonderful country. There's some good, more good than bad for sure. There's not a lot of places I'd rather live than here in Canada. So hopefully you celebrated accordingly. Maybe you were out at the Riverhawks game, big win in front of a sold-out crowd. Some of you maybe jetted out to Toronto, watched the Jays get a big win on Canada Day. George Springer, career-high 7 RBIs. Some of you probably spent your Canada Day just enjoying the free agent frenzy, where it was and we were on, myself and Low Tide from 10 a.m. until 1, and there were a few signings that were head scratching, lots of them coming out of Los Angeles. I'd love to find out. So Gavrikov wouldn't sign there. He eventually signed 7 times 7 in New York. He could have signed 7 times 8 in LA. Did they not want to go 8? Because think about it. $8.5 million for Ceci and Dumoulin. What? Like those guys, one of them is going to be in your third pair. Both of them might be, depending on how your season unfolds and Brant Clark's development. So that's a rather interesting decision for me. You know, Corey Perry, $2 million in base salary and another $2 million in bonuses, and 1.5 of that's pretty much a lock if he stays healthy to get in. So that's, to me, that was rather surprising, I think, for sure. So the Edmonton Oilers, they didn't make any big moves, which I don't think is a terrible decision. Free agency usually is where regret happens more than success. Now, there are exceptions. Obviously, Zach Hyman has become an excellent free agent signing, but there's a lot that aren't. Oiler fans know it. Other fans know it. So Mangiapane, 2-year deal at 3.6. Curtis Lazar, a 1-year deal. That's league minimum $775. And then some depth guys. Matt Tompkins is their number 3 goalie to replace Olivier Rodrigue. And they signed another depth defender as Gleason's gone. Carrick's gone. So they bring in Riley Stillman, and he'll be like the veteran down in OKC. So, or Bakersfield. Yes. So not a huge splash. When I look at the Oilers roster that's let's say today is their final roster to start the regular season. What you see today is what you will see on opening night. Is it significantly different than last year? Well, goaltenders are the same. You look at defense, Jake Wallman will be in the lineup on opening night instead of Travis Dermott. Now, he was there for a bit, but you had Emberson and Stetcher. Emberson played a lot. So one of those two guys will be taking the number 6 spot, and you'll have Jake Wallman in as a number 5, or the number 4, him and Kulak, however you want to place them around. That's an upgrade to me. Then you look at the forwards. So who's out from opening day, or really from the first 60 games of the season up until the trade deadline? So which forwards are gone? Arvidsson's gone. Jeff Skinner's gone. Corey Perry's gone. Derek Ryan's gone. Connor Brown's gone. Right? Those are 5. So in their place, Mangiapane, Trent Frederick, Matt Savoy, Tomasek, and then one of Lazar or Noah Philp. Are they worse off? I don't think so. Those 5 guys that I listed, they combined for 38 goals in 59 games. Now, I'm using the trade deadline because I really believe that's when the Oilers are going to make some moves and some additions to their team. And now, obviously, they got Evander Kane back in the playoffs. That's a big help. No question about it. So you'd look at, hey, they're going to have to add a few pieces at the deadline. I think right defenseman. I think they're going to look at forwards, probably with some grit, maybe a skill guy. And then they will see what's their goaltending situation like at 3/4 mark of the season. That's what I see happening here for Edmonton. And the regular season, I'm not a believer that it doesn't matter. I think it matters because it can help you a few things. You can evaluate what you have. Also, it puts you in a position to make the playoffs. Pretty important thing now when half the league doesn't make the playoffs. It's never a guarantee that you'll make it. We assume the Oilers are a playoff team. And then it allows you to have opportunity to, I think, fine-tune some of the areas of your game. And one area that has to be better in the first 60 games last year is their penalty kill. It was awful. And it led to them, here's the stat that will tell you how bad the Oilers' penalty kill was in the playoffs. 349 teams have played at least 10 games in a playoff year. The Edmonton Oilers' penalty kill was 348th out of those 349 teams at 67.1%. The only team worse was the Islanders in 2021. That's it. Their penalty kill hurt them. It definitely hurt them in the Stanley Cup final. They allowed 7 goals in the first 4 games. So it wasn't great. Got to be better. From goaltender to defense to forwards collectively. So they'll make some changes. I think they'll tweak a little bit how they play. The other change, I think, we know that Glenn Gullickson's gone. I believe they're going to make a change to the goaltending coach. So that'll be 2 coaches gone. Coffey and Stewart, I think Stewart's come back. I don't have 100% certainty on that, but kind of what my sense is. I think Coffey wants to come back, so you might see 2 changes. Now, who knows? Knobloch might surprise people and have more. But I think there's going to be at least 2 changes to the coaching staff. One, obviously, with the departure of Glenn Gullickson. So we'll get your thoughts. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. What's your thoughts on the Oilers and just where their roster is right now compared to what their roster was for the first 3/4 of last season? And I outlined it. I don't know if they're better or worse. Hey, Gregor, I don't think they're better off, smaller and no grit at all. Well, I think Trent Frederick adds significant amount of grit compared to the first 60 games last year. Right? Here's the forwards that are gone. Connor Brown, not gritty. Arvidsson, Skinner, Corey Perry, and Derek Ryan. So Corey Perry, he engages all that. I think Trent Frederick's more physical than him. So then you add in Savoy, Mangiapane, Dave Tomasek, right? None of them are overly physical, totally valid. Are Arvidsson, Skinner overly physical? No. Connor Brown? No. So I'm not sure. I just think it's different. I think there's probably a little bit more skill potential in Savoy and Mangiapane. Right? Like Mangiapane's a player I think who can play with skill. He played on the 4th line in Washington this year. They got off to a good start. They got a little bit of time in their 3rd line. Didn't get a ton of top 6 time. He's smart enough to play in your top 6. He's quick. He's energetic. Now, do I love it? Like the Oilers went to the Stanley Cup final with Arvidsson, right? With Connor Brown. You can have some smaller guys who aren't physical. So you can get away with maybe 2. I don't think you can have any more than that. Tomasek, I don't know how much bite or grit there is to his game. We'll see. Right? We'll see. Now, Matt Savoy, I don't have him in my top 6, by the way. I have him as like a third line guy, maybe. And we'll see. Right? But he's 21 years of age. He had a very good American League season, especially in the second half of the year, which is what you want for a player. Now, he might not start the year here, but it's not the end of the world if he doesn't. Right? Then you play some of your other guys and, he goes down, builds his confidence. Maybe he comes up after 20 games. We'll see. I think he'll get a look. But, Matt Savoy is like people say, well, hey, what did Skinner, what did Arvidsson? Those guys came in with big accolades. What happened to them? Right? Not a lot. So I don't think I looked at the 5 guys I just named. Do you think that they can combine for 38 goals in 60 games? Mangiapane, Frederick, Tomasek, Savoy, and then whoever it is, Philper or Lazar. That's an average of 7.6 goals a player. Because that would replace the 38 goals that you had going out up until the trade deadline. Do you think they're capable of that? I don't think it's a major ask, to be honest. Honestly, I don't think it is. So I think they can. I think they can do it. And then, the other thing that doesn't get talked about a lot, the Oilers were I'm surprised. The Oilers have lost the Cup final 2 years in a row. It was game 4. They're tied at 2. They lose game 5 and 6. And the way you listen to some people, it's like the Oilers aren't even close. Like they're not even in the same stratosphere as Florida. I'm like, Florida had a great team. And they had like the perfect playoff run. Right? They had all their guys. Everybody's producing big points, like almost unheard of. 8 guys with 18 points. It's crazy. Like awesome. Is that going to happen again? I think it's tough. So the Oilers, look at the teams they beat. Dallas. Okay. They waxed Dallas in the conference final. Has Dallas improved their team to say, wow, they're way better than last year? Now, they'll have Mikko Rantanen. They had him in the playoffs, but they'll have Mikko Rantanen all year long. Where are they noticeably better in your eyes for the Dallas Stars? I don't see a huge improvement on Dallas at all. They lost a pretty good player in Granlund, but I'm going, and then, down the list, I haven't seen them yet at a forward. Now they're going to give Maverick Bourque. I think they're going to hope that Maverick Bourque comes in and gives them a little bit more. On defense, no changes yet. No changes in goal. They've done nothing except they changed their head coach. Now, what about the Vegas Golden Knights? They brought in Mitch Marner. Yeah, that's going to help them offensively without question. And the fact that they got shut out in the last 2 games against the Oilers, they're going to be like, hey, we got to improve our offense. So Mitch Marner will improve their offense, no question. They've also added Colton Sissons, and they've added on defense, what's his name from Jeremy Lauzon. But they've lost Alex Pietrangelo, who averaged the most minutes per game amongst their blue liners, and Nick Hague, who played 17 minutes. Those are 2 big bodies on the back end. So Pietrangelo, Hague compared to Lauzon and Caden Korczak. Well, that's obviously a downgrade. Now they upgrade up front with Mitch Marner. So how much better is Vegas? I think they're good, but I don't think they're noticeably better. Probably better offensively. Might be a little bit weaker defensively. We'll see. The LA Kings, we outlined all the moves they made. They spent a lot of money, but they got more experience on their back end, I guess. I don't know if they have a whole, they might be a little bit more consistent in the regular season, but I don't think their team is built to be any better in the playoffs as it stands right now. They're going to hope for some internal improvement. But did the LA Kings moves scare you to think, oh, geez, now they're built to beat the Oilers? I don't think so. Vancouver, they're probably the team, they got Besser, they got Demko, they got Garland. They haven't brought in anybody new. Now, Evander Kane. Okay, so that's their big addition thus far up front, right? I think Dakota Joshua being healthy will help them. Now, they might lose Suter. We'll see. On the back end, no real additions. They will have Marcus Peterson all season long, so they should be okay. The defenseman, Elias Pettersson, they think he's an upgrade, so there'll be some internal improvements. And then if Demko's healthy, that should help them. And I think that makes Vancouver a legit, at minimum, wild card contender. No question in my mind. But do I see Vancouver as infinitely better? Not really. So, and look at Colorado. Let's go through it. Look at Winnipeg. The West, there hasn't been a lot of big improvements. A lot of teams kept their players. And like LA went out in free agent shopping, and most of us agree it wasn't great shopping. So where are you on the Oilers? I'm curious. Declan, where do you see the Oilers when you compare them to are you concerned, or you're like, hey, this is what I expected? What do you think?
Well, listen, I think the roster is objectively worse than this time last year, but the big question is, can it become better as the season rolls on, right? Like, I look at a guy like Andrew Mangiapane, the conversations today were a lot him versus Connor Brown. You know, everyone knew Victor Arvidsson was going to be moved out. Everyone thought Corey Perry was pretty unlikely. And I look at a guy like Andrew Mangiapane, and the comparisons to Connor Brown is, I think Andrew is a more skilled player. I think he's a more talented player. And when I get the player with more talent, and when he's presumed going to get extended looks in the top six, if not be stapled there, I am confident about what that can be.
Yeah, so it's like Northside Lou says, guys, I don't think the roster will be deeper than it was given the new contracts. Like it or not, we're the Maple Leafs. Well, the Maple Leafs had 4 guys at forward, so I don't think you are, number one. Number two, so like I said, I outlined it. Look at the roster. Look at the guys that are not here to start the season who were there last year. Right? Look at them. Emberson and Stetcher were your 2 regular guys at 5 and 6. One of them won't be there because now you got Jake Wallman. So that's an improvement. I think we'd all agree Wallman's an upgrade. Whether it's Stetcher or Emberson, pick your guy. He's an upgrade. Now you look at the forward groups. Perry, Arvidsson, Skinner, Brown, Derek Ryan, out. Now, Derek Ryan was a 13th forward, but he's still out. In, Mangiapane, Frederick, because he wasn't here all last year. Thomas Eck, question mark. Matt Savoy, a little bit of question mark, sure. And then Lazar Philp. So is it, I agree with Declan. Mangiapane is definitely more skilled than, Mangiapane, I would argue, at his stage, might be more skilled than, Arvidsson, Skinner, at the stage of their careers, right? Corey Perry had an unreal year last year. No one thought Corey Perry was going to score 19 goals. Awesome for him. I think Mangiapane brings you more. Like, I would argue that the 5 guys, Arvidsson, Skinner, Ryan, Perry, and they left that Edmonton's actually faster with Lazar's way faster. So Mangiapane's quicker. Savoy's quicker. Frederick's quicker. So I think they're actually a little bit quicker there. I do think they're going to have to add some grit at the deadline. So that's kind of how I see it. Hey, Greggs, what can we honestly expect from Thomas Eck? Buddy, bad captain? That's a great question. I don't really know, right? Like, he's a rookie by NHL standards, although actually doesn't qualify as a rookie because he's 29. But, he led the Swedish Elite League in scoring, and that's a low-scoring league. And to me, that's a pretty big accomplishment. I think I talked to some European scouts. They say they believe he will, as long as he adjusts to the smaller ice, no problem. They think like he thinks the game very well. He's smart. He's good with the puck. He makes good decisions. Decent finisher. They don't expect him to be a big time scorer. No, I don't either, at the NHL. And I said, let's say he plays all the time. Could he score 12 to 14 goals? And they said, yeah, I think he can score 12 to 14. So that's kind of, to me, that's the expectation, right? Connor Brown scored you 13 goals last year. So could he come in around 12 to 13? Arvidsson scored you 15 goals, right? Skinner scored, what did Skinner score? 15 goals? I have to go back and check. Maybe 16, right? Somewhere around there. So you hope he can come in that. Mangiapane can easily score 15. I won't be surprised if he plays in the top 6. And you heard Stan Bowman say they expect him to be a top 6 forward in this team. And when he was top 6 forward, he scored 20. Actually tapped out once at 35. That might be a little bit too rich to think on a consistent basis. But I don't think Edmonton is that much worse off. I don't believe they're significantly better. But I don't see them as any worse than the regular season team we saw last year up until the trade deadline. Coming up on the show today, Yaremchuk, Mike Rupp will join us in the 3 o'clock hour. Dave McCarthy, Mike Willer. What about the Jays, baby? Are you getting a little Jays fever here? They're on fire. Andy Strickland will be by. The one move yesterday that caught my eye was Balduke, the rookie, 22-year-old, had 19 goals last year. And they traded him for Mayu. Now, there's people that are very high in him, so we'll see. But that to me is a fascinating trade. Two young players, a defenseman for a forward. What do they like? Balduke, obviously French-Canadian guys. We're going to love it in Montreal. So I was curious. That trade caught my eye. We'll get to spec and DVD. We'll also talk a little bit about the Stingers who have found their game. They've won 4 in a row. And they got a big game coming up this weekend against Calgary. So to all that and more, it's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Oodle noodle origin.
In 1864, Francis Oodle took over his dying father's business as a leatherman. He was quite proficient, but his heart was never truly in the trade. After his father's death, Oodle met a cocksure young man named Vladimir Nudel, who was a trailblazer in the popular new art of food boxes. They formed a partnership and aimed to ply their trade in the New World. At Ellis Island, Nudel was renamed David Noodle, and henceforth, the franchise has been known as
Oodle Noodle.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the Sunday Showdown, July 6th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Summer in Alberta means baseball debates.
Okay, best ballpark snack. Gotta be popcorn. Nah, it's nachos, hands down.
Nah, you're both wrong. It's mini donuts. But when it comes to beef jerky, there's no argument.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
The only snack every fan agrees on. Grab some for your next ballpark outing.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky, because you don't win games with salad. Only available in Leduc.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Do you want to put a tweet out about Yaremchuk? 223 Sports 1440 Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto 649, the OG tonight, 14 mil, or of course the classic jackpot. Nobody won the Lotto Max yesterday. So Friday's draw, 60 million and 6 max millions. You can get lucky at PlayAlberta.ca. As it's time for the Oil Report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. They are Alberta's number one Volvo, actually Canada's number one Volvo dealership in new car sales. Also 13-time Excellence Award winner in sales and service. You're going to get a great vehicle from the XC6090, the XL, SL. They're all fantastic, but you'll get even better service at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com as Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us once again. Ty, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Greg's. It's nice that the Oilers did a little something too. I don't know if I could have made it through a second day of shows with no signings.
Yeah, well, Mangiapane, Curtis Lazar come in, and that kind of fills out the Oilers roster, I would think. I looked at it. If you have, you can go down, and I'm assuming Matt Savoy will get a chance to start the season anyway in Edmonton. So they've got their forwards, and even if he doesn't, I guess you could keep up Jones as your 13th forward for the time being, and then they got cap space, a little bit to maneuver around. What'd you make of the Mangiapane signing?
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's a guy who we've kind of heard connected to the team over the last week or so. My only concern and my only hesitation with really saying, oh, the Oilers should go get this guy is that the rumored cap hits. I had Dave Pagnotta on my show 7-8 days ago, and he was talking about how Mangiapane might be a guy who's looking for $4.5 to $5 million. And I was like, okay, if you're clearing out Arvidsson and you're not bringing out Brown, is it smart to spend $5 million on Andrew Mangiapane? I didn't know if the value would be there, but once I saw the contract come down and it's 2 years, 3.6, cheaper than Victor Arvidsson, I think he very obviously has the upside to be just as effective, if not more effective, than Arvidsson was as an Oiler. And not so much the last year or so, but in the past, he's penalty killed. I know he talked today about how he wants to be a guy who impacts in every scenario as well. So I don't know. I'm excited for it. I think it's a great contract. I think it's actually one of the better deals that was handed out in the last 24 hours here in the NHL in terms of its ability to provide value. And if the first year goes poorly, Stan Bowman already showed he can offload these kind of contracts. So I think it's a great gamble by the Oilers. I think he's going to fit in really well into their top 9.
Well, it sounds like they want to play him with Draisaitl or McDavid. So I think they have him in their top 6 to start anyway, which makes sense. When you look at some of the other guys, obviously, you're not going to, put the pressure on Matt Savoy as a rookie to play in there. Tomasek, well, not a rookie by NHL rules. He is a first-year player in the National Hockey League. So, same thing with him. We'll see. I've talked to some scouts. It's hard to get a read. They think, hey, could he be a 12 to 14 goal man? Yeah. And they think he has the smarts to play in the top 6, but the NHL is very different from the Swedish Elite League. So we shall see there. What'd you make of that? Frank Saravalli talking about the Isaac Howard and how the Oilers, obviously if it was a late first round pick, that obviously would have meant that their first rounder in 2027 is who they're offering.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly kind of smart business. We heard Bowman talk about he wants to get younger and going and getting a guy like Isaac Howard, who was a first-round pick 3 years ago, and this really isn't like a reclamation project. I was trying to find comparable deals of first-round picks getting traded early in their careers, and all the ones you find are like Lias Anderson and stuff, where it's guys who were getting off to brutal starts in their professional career. So taking a shot on Howard, who's been great in college, I think would be a really smart move. It just all depends on the cost for me. If it's just a first round pick in 2027, as much as I'm maybe a little bit nervous about not having that in my back pocket for a trade deadline down the line, if you think, and your pro scouts think, or I guess it's amateur scouts think, Isaac Howard is going to come in and be a top 6 piece for you for the next decade, as much as it might cost a bit, this is your make good for Dylan Holloway potentially. And not to put the expectations that Isaac Howard's a future 60-point guy or whatever, but if you really believe in this guy that much, this is a chance to add a piece who could be contributing in your top 6 for the next 10 years, and it'll only cost you draft picks. I think Tampa Bay is obviously going to have to come down off their ask a little bit here, but if this relationship is fractured, there might come a point where Tampa Bay goes, the offers aren't going to get better than what they currently are. So I love that the Oilers are going after this kind of a move. As much as you're in win now mode and you want proven bona fide guys, if Connor McDavid extends long-term, there also is a little part of Stan Bowman that needs to think about, okay, how do I compete in years 4, 5, and 6 of Connor McDavid's next contract? And if you want to do that, go get a guy like Isaac Howard.
Yeah, I'm curious. I'd be surprised if McDavid signs for more than 5 years, to be honest. And that's fine. 5-year deals. I've been pumping it for years. I think Max should be 5-year deals after 28. So if he only signs for 5, it'd be, hey, fits right in the category. The NHL's listening because they went down to max terms of 7. And then 6 if it's a new player to your team. And I won't be shocked if eventually that's 6 and 5 with the advantage of to keep your own player at 6. And I'll be like, oh, only took them a while to get into the lane of shorter contracts are better for everybody. The Oilers, were you surprised at all that the only goalie move they made was Matt Tompkins to essentially replace Olivier Rodrigue.
I wasn't overly surprised because look at the market. Like as soon as Jake Allen disappeared, it's like, okay, do they view Anton Forsberger, Alex Lyon, or Dan Vladar as true upgrades on Calvin Pickard and upgrades to the point of you're willing to pay 2 times or even 3 times as much for your backup goalie? I didn't view it as that. We also know Pickard's loved in that room. So again, you're risking a little bit there. Like I don't see a massive problem considering how the market was free agents wise. I didn't see a big issue with just standing pat and going with Skinner and Pickard. If there's a trade out there, whether it's UPL and you think he's an answer, or whether it's Ilya Sorokin that somehow magically shakes loose on Long Island, then yeah, like the Oilers shouldn't close the door on going to find a goalie. I just didn't think anything in free agency made sense. They're already tight to the cap. Going from $3.6 million in goaltending to spending however much you would have had to spend, 2.5 on Forsberg or whatever, making your tandem that much more expensive without the guarantee of it actually improving, because Lyon and Forsberg aren't guarantees. I just didn't see that much upside there. So I'm fine with it. Again, they should continue to explore the trade market. Maybe they got to wait until next year at the deadline, although those moves for goalies rarely work out. But for now, again, it makes no sense to just go sign a bad contract just for the sake of saying, look, I did something.
Yeah, no, that's totally valid. And I don't know if there was people like, hey, they should go after Tanner Jeannot. Well, not at $3.4 million. They weren't going to go after Tanner Jeannot by any stretch of the imagination. The Boston Bruins, he's the Boston Bruins player. They love those type of players. I don't think it'll be just about offense for him there. We'll see. Was there a signing you really liked so far in free agency?
You know what? Gavrikov coming in at only 7, he was the guy who I had circled as like, oh, he's going to get overpaid and some team's going to regret it. Because especially when Provorov came in at 8.5, I'm like, is Vlad Gavrikov going to get $8.5, $9 million? The fact that the Rangers got him for 7, clearly it's a spot he wanted to go. That one just surprised me because it was more team friendly than I thought it would be. But honestly, outside of that, I don't think LA did a very good job. I think they gave out way too much money to guys who are just kind of average. As much as Cody Ceci can help on the PK and Brian Dumoulin's a minute eater on your third pairing, they got worse from Spence and Gavrikov to go to those two. So there really wasn't a lot. That's again, as the day went on, I was like, they're not getting Mangiapane because look at the prices. To get Mangiapane to within $200,000 and with 3 years less term than what Tanner Jeannot got, I think Mangiapane is honestly trying to remove all Edmonton bias out of it. I think he's the best value contract that was signed.
2 years. Interesting. Well, he has potential to be for sure. Yep. He also has the potential to get to play with Draisaitl and McDavid. Not a lot of the free agents can say that, which is a big advantage for any free agent. A lot of people are really high in Mikael Granlund, and I think he's good. And they need some veteran. They obviously need some money on that team in Anaheim. I think. What did you make of Ken Holland's day in LA?
Oops, sorry, I had myself muted there. I don't think they're better. I mean, I guess they got a little bit better in terms of getting a good backup in Forsberg, but they're banking on a guy like Darcy Kemper being again near Vezina worthy next season. So I don't know. I don't think the Kings got a lot better. I think he committed a lot of money in term to guys who won't age well. They'll still probably make the playoffs because I'm not sure how good the division is, but yeah, I'm not exactly sitting here worried about the LA Kings being better than they were last year. They're just largely the same.
What about Vancouver?
For the Canucks, they're so poor down the middle that I don't know how they can look at this group and think they're going to go on a run. You're going Pettersson, who needs a bounce back, Philip Hedl, and then Teddy Bluger. I don't think that stacks up with what Edmonton and Vegas can do. So again, not a lot of teams in the Pacific get a good grade A stamp from me.
Well, honestly, I asked I don't know if I know they got Marner in Vegas, so they get a big name, but they lost Pietrangelo and Haig. So obviously they got better offensively, but you can argue Pietrangelo, Haig out, and then you throw in Lazon and Korzak in. Well, I don't think their defense is better. Obviously not. So, I don't know how much they improved in Florida. They're different, no question, but I'm not sure how much more improved they are. Edmonton, I think they're better on their defense score to start the season than they were last year. Their forward group, I think it's kind of a wash, to be honest. They didn't have Kane all year, so I'm not including him. And when I look at Arvidsson, Skinner, Perry, Brown, Ryan out, Mangiapane, Frederick, Savoy, Tomasek, one of Lazar, and Philp. They're a little bit quicker, maybe on paper. Definitely on paper, they don't have the pedigree on paper amongst the 5 of them, but they are quicker and probably add a little bit different dimensions. So we'll see. Can they help can any of those guys help the penalty kill? That'll be a key one. Lazar maybe can win some faceoffs for. He's the right guy. That could help. So I think they're probably, I would say they're probably the same, maybe like 0.1 better just because they're quicker. LA, I don't think is better at all. Well, maybe I guess their third pair defense is probably better. So let me take that back. Their third pair will be better. It'll be way more expensive, but it'll be better. And Vancouver's, if Demko's healthy, they're better. There's no question if he's healthy. Now he says he's healthy, so that could be a big thing. But they're kind of a wild card to me. I think Vancouver will be a legit wild card contender for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if they're back in the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, like I think the gap between them and LA isn't all that large. Calgary's in the mix, but I mean, I was looking at the odds today. The Oilers are favorites to win the division in the regular season, and I think that is totally justified. I think on paper they're obviously right there with the Golden Knights, and again, there's some weaker competition. Like the Oilers next year, it should be another year where you're eyeing up that top spot in the division for sure.
Yeah, they'll be in the running for it. It seems to be something that they never can catch. They haven't had it since 1987. So I guess you'll never know, but we'll see. Lastly, the Nick Ehlers is obviously the important one. Please Suter, I guess, is another one. But Nick Ehlers, where do you think he goes, and what type of money are we talking here?
He's gonna go somewhere quiet. I bet you he gets like a 7x8 in Carolina. I that just feels like the natural point. He wants to contend without the noise of a big market. That kind of whittles it down a little bit. Carolina could use the scoring, and they have a ton of cap space, even with the Keandre Miller sign and trade. So my prediction, 7x8.5 with the Hurricanes for Ehlers.
Ooh. Well, yeah, he'd probably fit in there. Another really good player, but not a great player. That's kind of fits the bill for Carolina. Ty, have a good one, my man. We'll chat with you on the rundown tomorrow.
Sounds good. See you, Greggs.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Face-Off. Nikolai Ehlers, Carolina. Very interesting. We shall we'll see. There are some teams I'm interested in some other potential trades here this summer because there's some teams that just have to get to the cap floor. Now, I guess there's some free agents out there, they could really overpay on 1-year deals if they wanted to. San Jose needs to add about I think it's 9.4 million, give or take, to their roster. I guess they could do it. Hey, Gregor, Klim Kostin still free agent. Think the Oilers would sign him? I'd have to go count. First, I'm going to count. I haven't counted how many roster players they have. And then you don't want too many veterans in the AHL who are going to take away minutes from some of the young guys coming over. So let me look at that. Because they've got some guys on AHL deals anyway. Now I know you can say, well, they can kick those guys out, but they kind of make a deal with them. You want some of those guys on your team. They're good veterans, but they're settling for AHL only contracts, so they don't count against your 50-man roster. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility. So we'll see. I haven't heard his name, but again, I haven't asked about Klim Kostin, to be bluntly honest. So good question. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We'll get your thoughts on that and more.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug in to your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecue start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below-cost scratch and dent items in-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
The Rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat, Brab, and 118th.
You have a choice, and it's a hard one. GMC employee pricing or 0% financing at Wolf GMC Buick. A hard choice, but also super awesome. Get GMC employee pricing on our Sierra lineup, from the Sierra half-ton to the heavy duties. If you have cash, get discounts over $12,000 on many of our Sierras, along with GMC pricing. Or choose 0% financing on our Sierra half-ton lineup. And what a great selection of GMC Terrains and fabulous Buick SUVs to pick from. So many choices. But one thing's for sure, you are getting the best deal at Wolf GMC Buick.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:42 Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Hope you are having a lovely Wednesday. Kind of an odd week. Some of you had Monday and Tuesday off. Maybe some of you extending that into a third day, which is always nice. Either way, enjoy it at wherever you're at. Sunny day, man. It's hot. Hydrate. Get the sunscreen on, boys and girls. Skin cancer is no joke. You don't want it. Get some sunscreen on. 243-833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Got loads of text to get to, loads, and so we'll get to those here. We got Mike Rupp coming up, Dave McCarthy in the following hour, so now's your time to shine for you. Also got Cam Tate in the next hour. We have Mike Wilner talk a little Jays. Jays already won the first 2. Now they got 2 games left in the series against the Yankees. There's a chance they could be in first place by Friday morning. Oh, dare to dream, Jays fans. Dare to dream. So they're making it pretty entertaining right now. I'll say that. It's good. Hey, guys, why does everyone think the Panthers GM did so well? Didn't he give way too much term to Marchand from Pillman? Pillman, man, I said it, and I know it's not the hot take. Everyone's like, they're reloading. Sam Bennett, 8 years at $8 million. I don't love that contract. He scored 50 points once. I know he had a career year in the playoffs. It was unreal. Okay, I'm just telling you, I don't believe that ages well. The Brad Marchand one, come on now. Right, like 6 years for Brad Marchand? Like, let's be real here. That is that art. Now, I know everyone's like, he's just going to go on LTIR. Are you sure? The NHL has looked into teams who signed guys late for long-term deals who then do that. So keep that in mind. Now, people say, hey, they're not going to worry about 3 years down the road. Okay. But to me, this summer was the sign of Zito that they're going down the path of the Chicago Blackhawks, where you fall in love with your old guys, and I understand it, and you keep them all. So the style that they played, like they had the perfect playoffs. Unreal. I just don't think it's feasible to think. Now look at McDavid. Connor McDavid, the best scorer in the game. He didn't maintain the same points he did the year before. Neither did Evan Bouchard. They had good playoffs, but not elite. Are you telling me that all 8 of Florida's guys are going to do what they did again? Like, it's highly unlikely. They're a really good team because they had all their guys going. It is hard to get everybody going. Okay, it just is. So we'll see. But those contracts, tell me how many of them are aging well. I agree with you, Pillman. Now, if those were shorter term, different story. But long term, I don't think they age well at all. Now, does it give them a chance for next season to give a run and that's all they care about? Yes. But eventually it will not work out just because of the age. It's not going to happen. So, hey guys, Mangiapane and Savoy are both small forwards from Schwackhammer. Yes, but so are Arvidsson's not big. Connor Brown's not big. And Connor Brown doesn't hit anybody. That's okay. He doesn't, but Jeff Skinner's not physical. Arvidsson's not physical. Look at their hit totals in their career. So I don't think those guys are all smaller forwards. If we look by NHL standards of small forwards. And so, yeah, they had 3 out. Now they got 2 coming in. Curtis Lazar, bigger and faster than Derek Ryan. So is Noah Philp. So a little bit upgrade there. Frederick's obviously the most physical guy they got. Thomas Eck, he's a wild card for sure. There's no question. Now he's a cheap wild card, which is why I like that. I'll take that bet all day. It's 1.2 mil. If by chance he really struggles, who knows? Maybe halfway through the year, he's like, guys, let's do a mutual agreement here and I can get my release. It's happened, right? If both sides agree to it, just terminate the contract and away you go. I don't think that's going to happen. I think he can play. I just don't know how well he can play. I couldn't even make a guess. That's why, to me, like 12 to 14 goals, anything above that would be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Eight 401-1440. Hey, Greggs, do you agree they need more grit? They weren't hard enough to play against in the finals. Everyone says it was an overpay, but multidimensional players like that add huge value to contending teams. Well, Aaron, they do, but I don't think at 3.4. Like, look at Gadjevich and AJ Greer. Right? They added a lot, but what did they those guys were basically like $800,000 players. So, 3.4. Jeannot's not just going to be a 4th line player at 3.4 million. He's not going to be. So, Edmonton felt like, hey, we needed someone else who could be a scorer. I agree with you that at the deadline, they will add some more. I would be stunned if they didn't. I think they would add a little bit more tenacity to their lineup. No question. And it's not like they really have anybody in the minors, I think, who could surprise you and come up and fill that kind of physical void amongst forwards. Because you look at the guys, Szymanski, Quinn Hudson, Connor Clattenburg is easily the most physical forward they have in the minors. But he's just turning pro. He's, I don't know where he's going to be. But he's a guy, if he does make it to the NHL, he makes it because he's a shift disturber and he runs around and he can agitate. And I've argued, I think it's you got to draft. If you want a guy like that, you got to go draft him for the most part. Now, maybe later in his career you trade for him, but a younger player who brings that very rarely gets traded because they're unique. right? Or they go to free agency and get paid big money. So, yeah, I think it's something the organization's never really done it. Now, Clattenburg's one guy, great, but they don't have a ton. Right? I know people say, well, you need skill. Yes, I think you need different dimensions, and I think it's a valid point to suggest that they could use a little bit more of it. Hey, Gregor, Pietrangelo will be back in time for the playoffs. We all know it. Bud, go read the press conference, man. No, he needs bilateral femur surgery. His career's over. Now, he doesn't officially retire because if he officially retires, then he walks away from 2 years of salary. He's not doing that. But he said, I'm taking hockey out of my life. Okay? He said it. Trust me, he is not coming back for the playoffs. That is no joke, that surgery, man. No joke. So, hey, guys, I think we'll see some new bodies in camp making the team from Brad. Well, like Thomas Second Savoy, Brad, is that what you mean? Because I don't see any other new faces. Like Curtis Lazar, sure. But I don't see any other new faces. Like, well, Mangiapane, of course, is going to Mangiapane is going to do it for sure. But I don't see it. Hey, Greg's, I have to say, thanks for being the voice of reason. I don't think the offseason has been nearly as bad as some people want to think. From Bald Mike. Well, Mike, bald guys think alike. I like it. I try to have a rational viewpoint, and then I look at everything else. So did Edmonton take a big step back? And the reason I use the regular season and not the playoff roster, because the playoff roster was going to be different because Bouchard and Draisaitl have combined between the two of them. $12 million more in cap space than what they were combined last year. Combined last year, they were it's actually more than that now. They were combined at 11.8. And now they'll be 24.5. It's actually 12.7. Okay, so of course the roster is going to be different than what you had in the playoffs. It's impossible not to. And so to me, because I believe the Oilers is going to be about accruing cap space, getting to the deadline, and making moves for some guys where you can add them at 1/6, 1/5 of their remaining salary. That's just the reality of it. Like how many July 1st signings lead to cup wins? Can you think of this guy signed on July 1st? I guess Oliver Ekman-Larsson played a decent role for Florida. Was he a game changer? No, he played pretty well, but played 15 minutes a night. Right? Was like number 5 on their defense scoring minutes. So he would be one. But how many significant, look at this guy. We got him for term. We got him for a lot. That leads to a cup. It's not where the cup is won. You got more of a chance, and trade deadline moves don't always make significant. Now they did this year in Jones and Marchand, no question. And with so few teams really improving, like of the playoff teams in the West last year, did Dallas really improve? The change they made is their coach. Colorado really improve? Vancouver? Now, Demko was on the roster, but if he's healthy, that's a big improvement. But, Miller's gone now. You got Hedel in. Besser was always there. So have they improved that much? Could be internally because of the health of Demko. Vegas Golden Knights. Marner, huge check mark. Pietrangelo, Haig, pretty big subtractions. So are they better? Arguably. Edmonton, same thing. Florida kept all their guys. Right? And some, overpaid in term to do it. And we'll see if it helps this coming season. I went through a lot of Stanley Cup winning teams, and the only change, Nate Schmidt is out. That's it. Right? Vanacek didn't play one game in the playoffs. So Nate Schmidt's out. That's really their only change for the roster. We'll see if, that's hard to do. But usually there was, the Oilers won 5 cups in 7 years. They had quite a few new players every year. Right? Even the Islanders change a few guys, not their core, right? Florida's core is still intact as it should be. Edmonton's core is still intact. Now it's a little bit more expensive, no question, but it's still intact. Hey, Gregor, I think the swings Bowman took looking for chemistry in the top 6 are better than Jackson's swings with Skinner and Arvidsson. Goaltending, I feel, waiting for the new coach to see if he can find more consistency. And we'll see about that from Pierogi Mark. Well, I think there's a combination there, May. Again, I don't put that much success or failure on a goalie coach because I use Connor Halley as a great example. He has the exact same goalie coach in the regular season he does in the playoffs. What changes? Right? Ultimately, the player still plays the game. So now a new voice might be able, to connect in a different way. But also, I think it's more experience for Stu Skinner, right? And the one thing we've seen from Skinner is he's shown a pretty good ability to be resilient. And he'll have a dip and then he bounces back. Now, sometimes the dip's a little bit longer than you want. And then sometimes he'll ride a high longer than you expect. So we'll see. But I don't know if the goalie coach, like how much of it would be just on that, how much of it would be on, because look at goalies who have the same goalie coach. They go from a 905 to a 920, then back to a 902 from year to year. Exact same goalie coach. So I don't get it. Hey guys, do contracts ever go in reverse order where the smaller dollar amount is the first year and the larger dollar amounts in the following years? Just wonder if you could bring somebody in the league minimum in the first year with promise to pay them sort of thing in years 2 and 3 as the cap increases. Well, their salary, if you want to pay them $1 million in year 1 and $3 million in year 3, of course, guys do that. However, your AAV is all that matters. And so whether you pay them $3 million in year 1, then $2 million in year 2 and $1 million in year 1, and reverse it, go 1, 2, 3, your AAV is still $2 million. And that's what matters. Now, are you saying, hey, sign a 1-year deal for lower, and then next year we'll sign you for another deal at higher? You could. I think that we saw that once in San Jose with Kevin LeBanc. Right? But it's still one where you have to put a lot of trust in your GM that he'll fall through, because legally they can't do it. They can't sign the contract. You can say, hey, we'll do this, but it doesn't happen very often because lots can change. What if that GM gets hired? The new GM comes in. What are you talking about? I didn't make no deal. So yeah, that's kind of rare, but yeah, you have contracts. There's guys out there who make more in year 1 in actual money and then make more in the final years of the deal, but the AAV is the same. And that's how the salary cap is based off, not what your pay is. It's just what the average is each year, and that becomes your AAV. So, McGregor, I would agree with your texter about Vancouver. While the goaltending helps them, they still got major question marks down the middle. That's totally valid. Like, can Hedl stay healthy? Right? Can Hedl stay healthy? That's going to be a huge question mark. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll get to Deck and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. They're here to take care of your vehicle. Tire checks, oil changes, alignments, and brake inspections. Make sure you're on the road all summer at fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, Edmonton Oilers news as the club has signed forward Curtis Lazar to a 1-year contract worth $775,000. The 30-year-old center posted 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. MLB around the League 3 doubleheader games earlier today. Padres over the Phillies 6-4. Tigers beat the Nats 11-2 and Brewers 7-2 over the Mets. Toronto Blue Jays will be in action. 5:07 first pitch against the Yankees. Jose Barrios on the mound in that one. Former Toronto Blue Jays outfielder Kevin Pillar announced his retirement today after 11 seasons in the league, and the Knicks are expected to hire 2-time NBA Coach of the Year winner Mike Brown as their next head coach. Elks have added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice roster. The club announced today Johnson joins the Green and Gold after 5 seasons with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight down at Remax Field against Port Angeles. 7:05 first pitch for that one. And Wimbledon scores around the league. Canadian Gab Diallo currently tied 2 sets apiece with 5th seed Taylor Fritz in the second round. Felix Auger-Aliassime was tied 1 set apiece with Jean-Leonard Struff in their second round matchup before that one was delayed, and Canadian Layla Fernandez did drop straight sets in her second round matchup versus Laura Sigmund. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
Mr. Rooter rides in a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow. You can really see it all from up here. The river crossing the city like a water line, the Walterdale like PVC pipes, and the cars circling the Anthony Henday like waste swirling a toilet bowl. Which reminds me, which way to the bathroom?
There's no toilet in a hot air balloon.
Well, I will have to remedy that.
For a plumber who soars above the others, trust Mr. Rooter.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the Sunday Showdown, July 6th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
With all the news about tariffs and price hikes coming our way, you have to be strategic with your money. St. Albert Dodge knows that and has some good news for you. Right now, all Ram 1500s are available with 0% financing for up to 72 months. So think about it. You can get into a brand new Ram 1500 right now at pre-tariff prices, while selection is still good, and pay zero interest on your financing. That keeps more money in your pocket. And that's how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at GoElks.com.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass. Your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Is the day 2 of NHL free agency. And I guess lots of people are still waiting to see it. Wow, this just coming down. Caden Korzak has signed a 4-year contract extension with Vegas for $3.25 million. Obviously, they feel, hey, they traded Nick Hague. They feel this is the guy who is who's going to get in. So make a big deal. So we'll see what happens. Also, how about the Stingers? 6-1 in their last 7 games. They've won 4 in a row. Sean East is rolling right now. I had 35 points in the last game. So I would, you might want to get out and check out some Edmonton Stingers basketball action. It's always a fun event down there at Expo Center. They had the big win against Montreal on Canada Day, and now they got Calgary coming to town on Sunday. So big opportunity then for they could tie. Well, actually, they'd move ahead in wins. Calgary has played fewer games, but you win that matchup and you'd be ahead of them, depending on what happens in the other games. So, and then after that, they got that the big matchup will come, I think, against the Bandits. Unfortunately, that's on the road, but I'd like to see the Bandits here again. That'll be a big game on July 20th. Meanwhile, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to your next destination. Book your ride today at silentrides.ca. As Mike Rupp from the NHL Network joins us one final time before we give him the summer off. Rupper, how you doing, my man?
What's up, Greg? How are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm good. It was interesting that lots of teams kept their guys. So, like, Gavrikov was probably the biggest, longest term free agent signing on another team. And then you had Backlund signing, in Anaheim for 3 years. But a lot of the bigger names ended up just staying with their teams at the end of it. Now, Marner got a sign and trade. So when you look at a free agency, Robert, and I asked this question, in the Western Conference, and really overall, like, how many teams that were top teams really improved at all in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I know that it's kind of funny too when you're talking about that, and there was a lot of guys who end up re-signing with their who was their current club, and it kind of makes like the market shift where some guys that maybe would not be the belle of the ball are, and you just, because there's no comps out there, and you start seeing some of the things shake out, and it's always a scary time for if you're rooting for your team, because you wonder, like, man, would we be paying this guy this much or this much term if those guys did not sign? And I can understand that it just kind of moves certain guys up to the front of the pack, but I think you're right. I think there's a lot of uncertainty. I actually think in the Eastern Conference there's a ton. Like, I don't know. I don't know if there's. I don't know who's going to be good and who's not. You know what I mean? I think the Florida Panthers are the one team. I mean, that's kind of old news now. It's been a few days. I mean, they retaining and keeping all those guys is incredible. So did they get better? No, I mean, they pretty much are the same team. But there's a lot of teams in the East I don't know about. And then when you look at the West, I think that there's a lot of conversations on, all right, what does this team look like? How do these guys fit in? Yeah, it's a weird time right now. Like, I don't think there's one team where I'm sitting there thinking, man, everything they did, whether it was trades around the draft or whatever the circumstances are, or in free agency, that I'm like, wow, that's a team that is going to be really different this year. I don't see that.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you. The Florida Panthers, I might be in the minority here. Hey, they signed these guys. Those contracts aren't going to age well, Rupper. Like, this is all about the now. But to me, that's a little bit like the Blackhawks near the end of their run, where they were so loyal to their guys and it didn't pay off in the long run. And I kind of see that in Florida. Like Brad Marchand, man, what he did in the playoffs was unbelievable. What their whole team did, 8 guys with 18 points, like that just doesn't happen. To think that's going to repeat itself, I think is very much wishful thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you're sitting here today and what we saw from this team the last number of years, you thought there was going to be a step backwards just because of when teams win cups, guys end up moving on to, I guess, bigger and better things as far as their contracts and their term and all that good stuff. Especially when you got 2 guys in this, their circumstance that was really unique to me is that you had the Conn Smythe winner. There was pending UFA. You had the guy who was runner-up in the Conn Smythe, pending UFA. The fact that you're able to retain 2 guys that were probably at an extreme high, and I understand that that's all part of the puzzle too. That's why Brad Marchand gets a 6-year deal, right? Yeah, the AAV and be able to figure all that out. I mean, he ain't getting a 6-year deal anywhere else. So yeah, I don't think all these are going to age really well, but I think this is a team that's really hungry to get back again, and they've gotten 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. I think they're looking to keep this alive for another year or 2 and see what can happen. And you cross that bridge when you get to it. So yeah, I think that they're going to be in, like I said, the Eastern Conference. No team right now, and there's a lot of hockey to be played, which can prove everything I'm saying wrong. I just don't think anyone's going to touch them in the East. I think the Metro Division is going to be a very weak division in the National Hockey League this year. So, I mean, when you're talking about that Atlantic Division, I mean, who really scares you outside of probably the Florida Panthers? So, yeah, it's in the now and keeping things alive and keeping things going, and crazy that they're able to bring everybody back. It's all thumbs up. But like you said, in a couple of years, that might not feel that way.
Mike Rupp joins us. Rupper, what did you make of the Marner in, but Pietrangelo obviously announced it looks like his career's over with that bilateral femur surgery that he's going to need. So Haig's out. They did just sign Caden Korzak, so they obviously are pretty high on him, but they seem better up front, but worse on defense. Where do you come out on Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's all going to be. I think this is a team where Mitch Marner's a heck of a talent. I do think in order to win a Stanley Cup, he has to be on a certain type of team, and that is what Vegas is. So it seems to be a perfect fit for me. And when you look at that forward group, what that looks like with Mitch Marner in there, it's a really deep group. I mean, they're impressive. The back end to me is where it's going to be at, like you mentioned, and in goal. I wonder now. You had the Cup year, you had this past year, Aiden Hill. Who is he going to be? Is he going to be more like the Cup year? Is he going to be more like he was this past year? He was fine. He was fine. I'm curious where that's going to be. And now on defense, having Petro gone and no Nick Haig, like that, those guys are hard to play against. And now you're going to have opportunity there, more opportunity for players. You just mentioned Korzak. Zach Whitecloud's going to get more looks, and you start looking at that group and you wonder, like, all right, are they ready? Are they able to take on more? That's the only question mark with them. I mean, other than that, they're built well. We know they're a well-coached team. They always seem to be in the mix. But to me, are they going to be able to keep the puck out of the net like we've seen in the past? I think that's going to be where the question's at.
Yeah, no, that's fair. What about Nikolai Ehlers? He's like the biggest name left. People think Carolina. And he would seem to fit the Carolina mold. So what do you make of Nikolai Ehlers and, where he might go? I've even heard some rumblings about Tampa Bay, which I thought was surprising because they'd have to move out some guys to do that.
So here's the thing with Ehlers. I'm a big Nick Ehlers fan. I've liked his game for a long time. I think there's a little bit of cautious, approach from me because of he gets injured. And so how is that? That's always a big question when you're going to sign a guy in long term and you're talking like big money. And that's kind of the guy I'm maybe alluding to at the beginning of our conversation when I'm talking about where the market just kind of is becoming perfect. I mean, he was one of the top guys going into this market. There wasn't really a high end crop. I mean, there was potentially Mitch Marner. There was Nikolai Ehlers, Brock Besser, and those other guys are taken care of. So he's that lone ranger out there that will really start driving things up. Now, if you were to ask me, if I'm building a team, and what going into July 1st, you knew you would potentially have to pay a Mitch Marner, what you would have to pay a Nick Ehlers. I think Nick Ehlers is the guy I would go because he'd be quite a bit less money, but I not as much offense, but I like a lot of the other attributes he brings. Now that he is the guy and there's no comps, I'm kind of nervous of where he gets paid and if a team pays him too much. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I thought that I would rather have a Nick Ehlers over Mitch Marner. If Mitch is at 12 and you get Ehlers, where I don't even know where you're getting millions less per year, potentially. You could use that other parts of your lineup. I would really like that move. But now all of a sudden, if he's the guy and there's a lot of teams coming to the dance and they want to sign this guy and drive up that price, all of a sudden now I don't know if that's going to be a good contract or not.
Yeah. Mike Rupp joins. I think that's fair. What about the Rangers, excuse me, Mike? They decide that Keandre Miller isn't the answer, so they move him to Carolina. Carolina pays him $7.5, and they bring in Gavrikov. Like, you watch the Rangers a lot. What's up with the Keandre Miller thing here? Like Gavrikov's older and slower. Like what's going on?
So Keandre Miller is a really interesting player to me because what's he, 25 years old? So I don't know if we know exactly what he is. The problem is I don't know if he knows exactly what he is. And I'll say this, like he is, and I firmly believe this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I think he has the ability to be a top 10 defenseman in the league and on both sides of the puck. The problem is that he hasn't really shown any glimpses of that for about 2 years now. I think he came into the league. He started showing this trajectory of his development, and I really liked what I saw. I don't know what happened, but that was stalled. That plateaued. It actually dipped. So now you're sitting there, you're still like, all right, well, can he find that again? Can that happen in Carolina? I think it's a great move for Carolina in regards to kind of rolling the dice on that. And then, yes, he's overpaid right now for what he's done. But if he could even be, if he could develop into even partially what I believe he can be, that could be a really nice deal for the Carolina Hurricanes. But on the same note, I actually think it was a really good decision for the New York Rangers because you knew at some point you're going to have to pay him. So now let's free up that potential of what we need to pay him. Let's go get a guy who can defend. And that's a problem for the New York Rangers last few years. Even when they won the President's Trophy, they did not defend well. They relied on Igor Sturkin a ton. I think Adam Fox will benefit with Gavrikov if that's the top pair. They need a lockdown type guy, and they got him. And yeah, so I think some people could probably scratch their heads wondering, hey, what are we doing here? Like, this guy's 25, but it's a gamble. It's a gamble for Carolina if he's going to pan out. It's a gamble for the Rangers that he's not going to pan out, and we'll see how it plays out.
Mike Rupp joins us, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation YouTube. There wasn't a lot of craziness. Now, the LA Kings, I'm kind of perplexed by their decision. Like, Gavrikov must have wanted to leave because you can't pay CC and Dumoulin a combined 8.5 on 4 and 3 year deals and not offer Gavrikov at least 7x7 or 7x8, right? Like, he just must have wanted to leave unless LA was really lowballing him.
Yeah, that was an interesting one to me because you're trying to do it by committee now with CC and Dumoulin. And I guess the one real positive I will say is in a depleted playoff run, if you will, by the New Jersey Devils, Brian Dumoulin was probably their best defenseman. Now, Luke Hughes didn't play. Like I said, guys were banged up, so take that with a grain of salt. You wonder what he has kind of left, but we haven't seen too much from him in a while, and he has a lot of miles on him. But I just sit there and think to myself, like, I mean, you have a elite defensive defenseman, and that is a team that's known to play defense, and that's their MO. So you lost your best defensive defenseman. I mean, Mikey Anderson does a heck of a job, but I think Gavrikov is more of a shutdown guy, and you don't have him. So we'll see how it plays out. They're trying to get some serviceable minutes from like a guy like Cody Ceci. He can provide serviceable minutes, but I mean, you're going by committee now, trying to make up for what you lost in Gavrikov, and I think they might feel it.
Oh God, yeah. Like I don't know if they got better. They got older. That's for sure. I don't know if they got any better by any stretch of the imagination. The other one is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, I guess maybe they go after Nikolai Ehlers, but they get John Tavares on a great deal. I really like the Matthew Nyes deal. They trade away Marner, and they get a serviceable player, but make no mistake, like they lost out on Mitch Marner, and you could make an argument that a few years ago his agent basically outlined that this is what that they were going to do. We're going to run it right till the end, and then they left. And yeah, you got Nick Roy, but that's all you got for him. How they dealt with the Marner whole situation, would they have been better off to move him before his no movement clause kicked in? You look at it in hindsight, because I remember people talked about it then that you probably should have, because that top four was never going to win, and it was proven it wasn't going to win.
Well, yeah, okay, so you just said it right there. So when you're asking me that question, I don't believe that top four can win together. So yes, of course, that would mean to me to trade him before his no move kicks in. And that's what bit them, obviously, at trade deadline time when he kiboshed the Carolina deal. And so for what was it, for Rantanen. So, they believed in something. They walked themselves into this. And the fact that they got anything in exchange, I mean, the one thing I do like with Nick Waugh is like they got like they added some more. They're starting to add some more players. Since Brad Trey-Lemon's been there, they're adding more players that can be specialty players and protect leads. And I hate to say it this way, but play the game the right way. They're starting to get more guys like that. Now, does that mean you're not going to miss 102 points from Mitch Marner? No, like that. You're going to miss that. This team's going to look different. I think they've been trending in a certain way of starting to look different. I don't know what they do if they're able to replenish some of that offense, but it's going to look different in Toronto. But I thought they did an okay job. But you're right. I think that was lost a while back on the calendar. I think there was a time when it was right to move Mitch Marner, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. And that, and in hindsight, that's probably a fail. You lose a guy who was 100-point player once, but still top 5, top 10 scorer in the league for the last few years, and get a whole bunch back for him. That's obviously not the best asset management. They do free up some cap space, and so we'll see. The thing is, there's not a lot out there. Like even Florida's roster right now has 13 forwards, 6 defensemen, and 2 goalies, and they're over the cap, right, by $2 million. Like Evan Rodrigue, to me, seems like an obvious guy who's going to have to get moved out of Florida this summer.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes it really interesting too, is where these guys end up, and we talk about the guys that they retained, but potential guys that they're going to lose that were pretty big components too to this team's success. You're gonna have to give up something, man. It's just the nature of the game that we play, and we saw Nate Schmidt obviously sign his deal. How good was he for them? You know what I mean? Like he jumped in there, did a heck of a job, but they always seem to have that defenseman that they bring in. It was OEL the prior year, then it was Nate Schmidt. Now you see Jeff Petrie get an opportunity there. So they're still going to have to see what gives. If that's Evan Rodriguez, I mean, he, if you remember, I think not this past, but the prior playoffs or at Stanley Cup Finals against Edmonton, he had the second most points in the series behind Connor McDavid. Like, so he was pretty effective in their first Stanley Cup. So we'll see how that plays out also, but you're going to have to give up something, and we'll see what team benefits from it.
Yeah. What did you make of the St. Louis Montreal Bolduc for Mailloux trade?
Oh, what I make of it? I mean,
yeah, like Bolduc's the rookie, scored 19 goals, like a lot of positive there. Like obviously, I think the Blues, like they put Nick Leddy on waivers. No, that's not to buy out because the first buyout's already done. And I don't think they have anybody going to ARB, so I don't think they can even open the second buyout window. But I think they want to get younger there. But that just to me was kind of an interesting deal. It's got potential for both sides, but it's also got potential for one side to win heavily.
Yeah, honestly, it's one that's very interesting to know and wonder a little bit more behind the scenes of the decision making there. But honestly, it's one that I haven't really given too much thought to. But These are two teams that when you look at these two teams, they're starkly different in a lot of different ways. But they're teams that are I think definitely have. I think Montreal is in a position right now with some of the moves they made that there's no reason why they can't be in the playoffs. And really make another push here and maybe go deeper. They're a team that is. They got that youth movement. Their back end's kind of scary in some ways on both sides, because I think there's a lot of talent there, but I don't think there's a ton of structure. We'll see how Marty St. Louis kind of handles all of that. But those are some of those maybe lesser trades in some regards that maybe can pay big dividends coming down the road.
Rupper, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have yourself an awesome off season, and we will talk to you again in mid-September.
Awesome. Sounds good, Greg. Enjoy the summer, and everybody listening, have a great off season, and we'll be back and exciting another NHL season upon us.
You betcha. That is Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. Join us every Wednesday during the year. Take a quick break. We'll return. Dave McCarthy will join us and more. It's a busy Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50. That's Gregor50 and get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense. When you look at a pipe, you just see a pipe. But at GS Construction, we know it's not just a pipe. It's the future water flowing to a growing family's home or the sewer line for a new school. At GS Construction, we know every trench we dig connects people to what matters. And if you'd like to be part of that vision of making a better future, we're hiring. Right now, GS Construction is looking for experienced foremen to join our team. So apply today at gsconstruction.ca. GS Construction, underground with purpose.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Your Edmonton Riverhawks want to help pay your bills. Tomorrow night at 7, one lucky fan will win $1,000. Plus, enjoy $5 Thirsty Thursday pricing on select bevies and snacks. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
On the rocks, the party never stops.
Check it out.
Mondays, bingo tunes.
Tuesdays, tacos and tequila.
Wednesdays, it's wings and karaoke.
Shake what your mama gave ya with salsa lessons on Thursdays and the best live DJs.
Plus, live music every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, along with DJ Kenny K.
Hold on, let's not forget $5 happy hour, 7 days a week.
Your bar, your party. You're on the rocks.
On the rocks.
Chat Brab and 118th.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one haul of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use the promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order. All day, every day, use promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.330, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, Sports 1440, Sports 1440 odds. Hey, Josh Fenwick running things at Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. So if you're on the chat over there, say hi to the Josh, man. So lots going on in the world of sports. I have to say, I'm quite excited to watch Jay's game tonight. It's a opportunity to pull into a tie with the Yankees for first place. I know it's only halfway through the season, but still, it's exciting. I like it. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And if you like cool, hey, it's a place to be. $2 sundaes, $2 snack size shakes, and $1 ice cream cone when you order it through McDonald's app. Of course, with tax. Still a very good deal at McDonald's. As Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM joins us. Davey, how you doing?
Hey, what's up, Jason?
Well, buddy, just, lots looking at free agency, and it's kind of quieter because lots of teams signed their own guys at the end of the day, a lot of the big name ones anyway. What did you make of the whole LA loses Gavrikov and then who they sign in CC and Dumoulin? The Rangers sign Gavrikov, and then they get rid of Keandre Miller. Kind of what do you make of the Carolina, New York, LA, and what they've done with their defense?
Yeah, you can kind of track the changeover from the three teams. I'm not surprised that the Rangers moved on Keandre Miller. I think it was clear that they were not willing to pay him the kind of money that he was looking for. Whether or not that's the right decision, we'll see. He had a down year this year. He was not very good, but the couple of years prior, he looked like he was a very encouraging young prospect, and beyond prospect, like a quality young player in their lineup. So, was that a down year? Is that an indication of what he actually is, or is he going to bounce back? And will the Rangers be disappointed in the move that they made? We'll wait and find out. Gavrikov, it's a lot of money, I tell you, for that guy. I got to be honest. Like, to me, and I love what Don Waddell said the other day, and he used this example, but he said just because you're a $3 million defenseman last year does not automatically make you a $4 million defenseman this year because the cap has gone up and your percentage of the stop right there. When you're a guy who is a quality part, but not a salary level pushing type of player, I'm not interested in hearing about percentage of the cap. And so to me, Vladislav Gavrikov is a $5 million a year defenseman. 7 is asking, I think, beyond what he's going to be capable of providing. It's very similar to what happened in Boston this year with Nikita Zadorov, when he went from, in his previous deal, the example is relevant because it's the same type of thing. Boston saw him and thought, well, we can elevate him in our lineup. We'll pay him a little bit more money, but we'll still like him. And I don't know if they really did like him as much as they thought. You know, he was making 3 and a bit on his previous deal. This year they brought him in, paid him 5. He's just not going to give you the requisite offense to make you like that deal. And he'll appear overpaid. And I fear that's what's happened in New York with Vladislav Gavrikov. Again, we'll see, but that's more money than I would have been willing to pay him. And in LA, I guess I'll say this. Cody Ceci would be about $20 million poorer if he shot left instead of right. The fact that he shoots right, no word of a lie, I think has made him $20 million that he wouldn't have had elsewhere. So I couldn't believe he got the deal that he got in LA, and Brian Dumoulin in at 4 a year times 2. You know, if that's going to be your bottom pairing, like almost $9 million on your bottom pairing, to me is just too much money. When the Kings' biggest issue is that they do not have a guy up front who can break the game open. They needed to bring in that guy, whoever it is. And they're just quite honestly, that's the problem. There's not a lot of, but that doesn't mean you have to spend the money either on guys that I think will be dramatically overpaid for the role that you're asking them to play. So I don't quite like, I guess the only look is that maybe with Carolina and Keandre Miller, you're taking a bet that last year was a down year and he's going to be more what he was in years prior. New York and LA, I don't like what they did. I think they overpaid guys that will become abundantly clear very early in the season.
Dave McCarthy joins us. This just coming in. Priest Suter signs a 2-year deal, $4.125 million. With the St. Louis Blues, who continue to move. And, man, the one interesting thing about trade deadline was that the Jordan Kyrou name was out there a lot. And that kind of surprised me a little bit. Like, he's been pretty consistent, man. I did it on my show yesterday. There's 17 guys in the league who have scored 30 goals in each of the last 3 seasons. He's one of them. Like, he's pretty consistent, 37, 31, 36. Like, that's damn consistent as a goal scorer. And basically a 70-point guy. What did you make of the Kyrou rumblings out of St. Louis?
Confusing, because he's on correct me if I'm wrong, he's got quite a bit of term remaining on a pretty reasonable deal. I think it's like 8 something.
He's got 6 years left at 8.125.
Yeah, that's a reasonable deal as the cap continues to go up. Those are the type of guys that I want in the fold. And he's still a mid-20s guy, right? What is he, 26, 27? Somewhere in that range. We'll look it up. But those are the type of guys that I want on my books right now, because as the cap continues to go up, those deals for guys that produce offensively, he's 27, will look increasingly better. So yeah, I'm confused. I don't quite understand why they'd be looking to move on a guy like that unless they feel that he would fetch them a haul to fill in a role elsewhere on their team that they feel they need to address. But I mean, they signed Kyrou and Robert Thomas, a couple of years ago, as kind of the 2 heads of their forward group moving forward for the next. And I thought they were good deals, and I think they'll continue to be good deals because, as you mentioned, he's been productive. Do you have an answer? I found it utterly confusing.
Yeah, it was. Honestly, that's why I asked you. I didn't have a great answer for it. So
no.
It's a surprising one. Now that it's been a few hours, over a day, people have absorbed it. Everybody knew it was kind of coming. Who's to blame for how Mitch Marner ended in Toronto? Did the Maple Leafs misread this a few years ago before his no movement clause kicked in? When his agent kind of outlined that we're going to take it right to the end. What do you make of everything? Because at the end of the day, you lose one of the top 10 productive players in the NHL, at least points-wise, not goal scorer, but points-wise in the regular season. And, you get cap space and you get Nick Roy, but there's really no one out there to replace Marner 1-for-1. So you've definitely lost some offense.
Yeah, you have, certainly in the regular season. I think the question is, do you still consider the Leafs to be a playoff team? And at this point, I do. And as Brad Treliving has pointed out, it's July 2nd. We don't play today. We being the Leafs. I'm speaking as if I'm Brad Treliving, not me because I'm a Leafs. I got to put that out because people give me a Leafs fan garbage, right? But he's right. And so, look, there was nobody out there to replace him with the cap space they had available. So rather than allocate it to guys that are dramatically overpaid, save it and retain flexibility. I thought that was smart. Once they get to the playoffs, it's going to sound very cold. There's not a lot that they have to replace there with the absence of Mitch Marner. He hasn't delivered very much in the playoffs. So provided they get to the playoffs, you're basically starting from square one. Who's at fault here? I think a couple of years ago, just prior to Kyle Dubas getting fired, there was appetite to look at overhauling the way the Leafs were built. And then what happened was that Dubas and Brendan Shanahan, Kyle Dubas's future became the focus, and they got into, I hope I'm allowed to say this on your air, a pissing match between the two of them, which they did. And it ultimately ended with Brendan Shanahan firing Dubas and then bringing in Brad Treliving, but in doing it his way. I think there was appetite there on the part of Dubas at the time, and I don't always back Kyle Dubas because I think he did a lot of bad when he was in Toronto, quite honestly. But I do think there was appetite at that point in time, a couple of years ago, to revisit how the team was built. And then it got to the point where that opportunity had passed once Mitch Marner's no-move clause kicked in. And at that point, it is his right to control the situation as he negotiated it into his contract. Should he have had it? Well, that can go back to Dubas and say you kind of got screwed in that negotiation, which he did. Which he did. And the broader point is Mitch Marner should not have had a no movement clause to begin with at any point, but he did, and so it's his right and he exercised it. So I don't blame Brad Treliving this year when it became abundantly clear that Mitch Marner's representation were not interested in talking contracts to explore alternative opportunities. His right to do that. Brought it to Mitch Marner. You know, the reports are that it displeased Mitch that it was even brought to his attention, to which I say, put on your big boy pants, grow up. If you're not going to engage, what do you expect the team to do but to try to get something for you? And so the fact that he turned down that deal doesn't bode well for his future in Toronto, especially when Mikko Rantanen was the guy that they potentially could have gotten. So I'll put it this way. There's fault on both sides. I don't like the way it ended. I think it was time for it to end, and I do think ultimately the Leafs will be better for it, that Marner's no longer a part of the equation. 9 years, we've seen what he does, and in the playoffs, I'm sorry, the cold hard facts are it's not much.
It's not much. All right. Davey?
Am I wrong? Like,
oh, well, he hasn't. Well, 13 goals in 70 playoff games has definitely not been ideal. I don't think.
And 5, 6, and 7. That's when I'm when the chips are on the line. You look at those stats; they're abysmal for what he is getting paid and the negotiation, how it played out the last time. I'll just make one quick point here. Tavares, Matt Nyes, they are being hailed as heroes because the perception is they left money on the table. And my contention is, no, you didn't leave money on the table. What you have done is spent a portion of that money that you might have been able to get if you put the screws to the team to buy yourself some leniency in the event of underperformance. Marner never did that. And this city doesn't forget that. And so it'll play out differently because it'll be perceived that those guys, Tavares, different point in his career, but certainly Nyes, did something to help the team. That's not how Marner was perceived because of how the last negotiation went down, which I don't think was entirely his fault. He was too young at the time. He got horrendous advice, and it came back to backfire. Because if he had taken 8 times 9.5 last time, and a year from now took 8 times 13, his life would be no different, but the perception would be entirely different. And it's a shame, and it's sad that that's how it played out for him.
Davey, great stuff, buddy. We will chat with you on Sunday on the brunch. Have yourself a great day. And hey, is Blue Jay fever catching on right now in Toronto?
Starting to. The barn was packed last night. I wasn't there, but I caught a few innings. They're playing good. You're in July here and you win tonight. You catch the Yankees for first. That'll get some people's attention. So we'll see what happens in a month from now. And if they're in the same spot, I expect the Dome to be buzzing come August.
Awesome, man. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.
See you, buddy.
There you go. That is Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. Quick break. We'll return. We'll get to Cam Tate, the 2-minute warning. We also we're going to go to Toronto, talk Little Jays, also to St. Louis. They made the trade Balduke for Mayu. Interesting trade. Kind of get to the bottom of that. Also, they signed Puis Suter today, so good timing. We already had that set up for the St. Louis Blues. And why is Kairu's name being floated around so much on the trade market? It's interesting to me. We get to all that and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Wow. For Selly hockey fans, your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 noodle nood oodle noodle nood oodle nood noodle noodle nood noodle nood noodle nood oodle noodle noods. Noodle noodle nood 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 noodle nood oodle noodle nood.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Mr. Rooter rides in a hot air balloon.
Oh, wow. You can really see it all from up here. The river crossing the city like a water line, the Walterdale like PVC pipes, and the cars circling the Anthony Henday like waste swirling a toilet bowl. Which reminds me, which way to the bathroom?
There's no toilet in a hot air balloon.
Well, I will have to remedy that.
For a plumber who soars above the others, trust Mr. Rooter.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the Sunday Showdown, July 6th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
We've got some good news for you. Employee pricing is back at St. Albert Dodge. You pay what we pay, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, it just doesn't get any better than that. You'll get a great deal, and it's so easy. No complications, no negotiations. The pricing is simple. Your biggest challenge will be choosing the vehicle you want. Employee pricing. Come see us now for the best selection and the best pre-tariff prices of the year. And see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rosti stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
This summer, get it done with Bashaw Concrete Products. The highest quality ready mix and gravel with quick, dependable delivery across central Alberta. Call now for your free quote from their friendly, helpful team. Bashaw Concrete Products also offers precast water pads for your cattle, garage sumps, and water cisterns. And if your farm, acreage, or cabin needs a new septic tank, remember, their CSA-approved tanks include a 20-year limited replacement warranty. Can't beat that. Visit BashawConcrete.com and follow them on Facebook.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Man, there's still lots going on. Free agency's going on, but if you're a basketball fan, the Stingers are playing great. If you're a baseball fan, Riverhawks sold out last night. The Elks, Sunday, they need a win home against Ottawa. And we'll see. Well, they had stretches in that Winnipeg game. They're pretty good. Third quarter is the best quarter the defense has played all year. The problem is the other 11 quarters, they haven't got much pressure. So can they get some consistent pressure all game? That would be nice for them. Can the Elks receivers catch balls that are right in their hands? That would help. Can their quarterback complete a few more passes? That would help. So can they not fumble at opportune times? Yeah, a lot of things. So we'll see if the Elks can get a win on Sunday. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, boys, are there any legs to this Isaac Howard rumor from Mark? Well, yeah, Frank Saravalli reporting. I checked in the orders. Yes, they did look into Isaac Howard. And according to Frank's reporting, they thought they had a deal done or were very close, but Tampa Bay didn't want to accept a first rounder. Now, when you say a first rounder and they say it's Edmonton, well, then we know that it was a 2027 first round pick because the Oilers don't have their 2026. So they would have moved it, allegedly. And maybe Tampa Bay says, you know what? I think a team might give us a 2026 first rounder. If not, then now see, here's as the summer goes along, because Isaac Howard, for anybody out there who doesn't know who Isaac Howard is. So Isaac Howard is a Tampa Bay draft pick. He is, he's a pretty outspoken guy. I remember his draft, he had the super loud clothes, which I don't have a problem with it, but some people are like, hey, that's just who he was. He went back. He was at the University of Minnesota Duluth because he was drafted out of the U.S. National Development Team. Then he went to the University of Minnesota Duluth for 1 year. Then he transferred, which happens to a lot of players. He transferred to Michigan State. And his first year in Michigan, he had 8 goals and 36 points. Pretty good. And then this past season, as a 20-year-old, he lit it up. 26 goals, 52 points in 37 games for Michigan in the Michigan State in the Big Ten. That is, that's pretty damn solid. He had 52 points. Next highest score on his team at 31, in only 37 games. So it's like he's carrying the offense at that point. And you know what? He's not an overly tall player. He's 5'11", decent size, stocky, strong. And he it sounds like for whatever reason, he wanted to turn pro last year, was my understanding. And Tampa Bay said, we don't think you're ready yet. Go back to school. And that seemed to irk him. Now, it didn't hurt him because he went back and he dominated. The year before, he had 8 goals in 36 games. Then he jumped up to 26 goals in 37 and 52 points. So when I hear from people, oh, you can't improve at a certain level, I'll disagree with that. There's nothing wrong with going back and dominating. So he would like to turn pro. But right now, Tampa Bay, he doesn't really want to sign with them because he felt like they didn't respect him. Now, we can get into a whole conversation about that. If you went back to college and you had that good of a year, rather than playing pro, could they maybe be onto something? Like maybe it really helped you. I don't know. But either way, they feel like, you know what? There's too much. You can't repair it. So Edmonton, like a few other teams, was expressing interest. The Oilers offered a first-round pick, which would have been a 2027 because they don't have a 26. And according to Frank Saravalli, they thought they were close. Deal doesn't happen. So does that now? It's a 2027 pick. So as you get closer to August 15th, or even when or I guess not even August 15th, when the NCAA season starts, does Tampa Bay rethink and say, okay, you know what? We'll just do it now. Because if they wait until the season begins, well, guess what? Every month that goes by, he's closer to becoming a free agent because then he would finish off his year and August 15th, he could be free to sign anywhere. So now you start working against the clock. So maybe another team will offer them more. We'll see. But that's the latest. That's what happened on Isaac Howard. So, hey, Gregor, why is everyone so hot on the 2026 draft? And when did we trade the first round pick? It was for Wallman. That was the Jake Wallman trade. Now they're high in the 2026, especially early on. Right now, you get into 28 to 32. I don't know if the 28th to 32nd pick is infinitely better than the 22nd to 38th pick on average over the last few years. It's more so at the top of the draft. Obviously, Gavin McKenna, that's the big one, right? And then there's a few other players in the 2026 NHL mock draft that people are pretty high on. But if we're just going from the top of the draft, Gavin McKenna, and then you've got there's Halbert, people like him, Fedorov out of Russia is pretty highly touted, but Gavin McKenna is the main guy. I don't know if you get into the late rounds that people are like, oh my God, the 28th to 32nd pick is going to be the deepest draft ever. Like I've heard it's a deep draft, but where Edmonton is, they gave up their first rounder wasn't going to be in the lottery, right? It's really about Gavin McKenna. He's that good, and it will be interesting to see teams who, if you're a bubble team, and I know that the odds are still low, but we just saw what happened to the Islanders. We just saw what happened to Utah. You never know. And man, if you could be like an Islander team and jump up that many spots and get Gavin McKenna, look what it did to Pittsburgh. Look what it did to Chicago. Heck, look what it did to Edmonton. Right? The Oilers are one of the best teams in the NHL right now. Connor McDavid plays a big part in that. There's no one can debate it. Right? Like if they don't get Connor McDavid, how much longer would they have sucked? Right? Honestly, how much longer? They probably wouldn't have made the playoffs in 2017. So it would have been like 13 years out of the dance. Yikes. Hey, Gregs, can you explain how the cap accrues? Does a team get credit for every day they operate under the limit? Thanks, from Pat C. Pat, you are correct. So how it works is a player's salary. So the salary cap, let's just say it's 190 days for argument, because usually it's like 183. It depends on where the season ends and begins, right? And that's how long. Now, an Olympic year, it's a little bit longer, actually, because that's inside the calendar year, and so they count it. But so let's say it's 190 days, right? And your salary cap is $88 million. Oh, sorry, this year it's 95.5. So every day that you are under the cap, whatever you accrue on that day, now you're adding to it. And so that adds up, right? If you have $1 million in cap space at the start of the season, you can accrue up to I think it's 5.4. Like, it's a huge amount. And then so when you say 5.4, that's 5.4 in space that you can add from the end, from there to the deadline, which is a much higher in actual cap hit of a player, right? Because if you're a $1 million player, your cap remaining at the deadline is like $212,000, depending on the year. So that's how it works. Yes, you accrue. And so even if you have to go into LTIR for a month, anything you've accrued beforehand stays there. And then when you come out of it, right? Because let's say you have to put a guy in LTIR for a month, whatever reason, then you bring out of it. Right? Or if a guy goes on IR, which counts against your cap and puts you right up, then you're accruing less. But if you're in LTIR for a certain portion of the season, you can still accrue before or after it. That's how it goes. So we'll see. Hey, Greg's, it's funny how the Leafs had 4 highly paid players and then couldn't ice a team to take them to the top, and now we're doing the same with McDavid, Draisaitl, Nurse, and Bouchard. Do you think management would have learned from the Leafs' mistake from Big Guy 29? Well, here's the thing, though. I think you're simplifying it too much. Did they have 4 guys who got paid big money? Yes. Did they have success in the regular season? Yes. Did they make the playoffs every year? Yes. What happened in the playoffs? Did the big guys produce? No. That's the difference. That's the difference. Now, Nurse is never going to produce big numbers. Fine. But Draisaitl, McDavid, and Bouchard have always produced big numbers. Now, maybe you think they're going to suddenly stop because Draisaitl and Bouchard's contracts kicked in. And I don't know, suddenly they're going to stop. But that's the difference. It's not the salaries they had. It was that the guys they got paid, and you're in the regular season, and these guys are averaging 1 to 1.1 points per game. And then you get to the playoffs, and they're all dropping by a third of a point a game to a fourth of a point of a game. Well, that's why you don't win. It's that simple. You don't win when your best players aren't your best players. Now, you can win a game. You might even squeak out a series, but you're not winning consistently. That's the difference, man. You're simplifying it by just looking at money, and you're missing the point of the lack of production of their big guys in the playoffs. That's what hurt them more than anything else. 4:01 coming up. We'll talk about one of the hottest teams in sports right now, and a big trade one you don't see very often. 2 young players with lots of potential. Why'd they get dealt? And why is Jordan Kyrou's name always in trade talk right now? It's kind of surprising to me. Let's get to a sports update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer long at legacyheating.ca. Here's Declan Kruger.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
And for your Sports 1440 update, Edmonton Oilers news is the club has signed Curtis Lazar to a 1-year contract for $775K. The 30-year-old center posted 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. The St. Louis Blues have signed unrestricted free agent forward Puis Suter to a 2-year, $8 million contract. Suter recorded 25 goals and 46 points in 81 games with the Vancouver Canucks last season. MLB scores around the league 4 finals from earlier today. 5 finals from earlier today. Rays over the Athletics 6-5. Pirates over the Cardinals 5-0. Padres 6. Phillies 4. Tigers crushing the Nats 11-2. And the Brewers over the Mets 7-2. Toronto Blue Jays will be in action. A 5:07 first pitch for that one as they take on the New York Yankees. Jose Barrios on the mound for that one. DeAndre Ayton has signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. Between the Lakers and Trailblazers, he's set to make $34 million next season. Edmonton Elks have added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice roster, while Tamari Fox has been placed on the 6-game IL with an ankle injury. Johnson joins the Green and Gold after 5 seasons with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight down at Remax Field against Port Angeles. 7:05 first pitch for that one. And 2 Canadians falling in the second round of Wimbledon today. Gabe Diallo went out to 5th-seeded Taylor Fritz, while Leila Ann Fernandez went out to Laura Sigmund. Other Canadian in action today, Felix Auger-Aliassime was tied 1 set apiece with Jean-Leonard Souff before that one was suspended. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
1440 Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Some jobs are easy, and some jobs are not. When the going gets tough and the job is tough, GS Construction hires good people to get the job done right. So, if you know it takes teamwork, grit, and the utmost care to work underground, you just might be who we're looking for. Right now, GS Construction is hiring experienced foremen to join our crew. Apply today at gsconstruction.ca. And remember, from the first manhole to the final tie-in, we've got your back. GS Construction. Tough jobs, good people.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Measles outbreaks are occurring in Canada, including Alberta. These outbreaks are highly preventable. Measles is an extremely contagious disease that is spread easily through the air. The best way to protect yourself, your family, and your community is to ensure you are up to date with your immunizations. Don't get measles. Get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Okay. Hi there, this is Riverside Motorsports, Yamaha, Suzuki, KTM, Polaris, Gas, Husqvarna, Tittersled, Stasic, Talaria, Climb, Thor, Alpine Stars, 509, Troy Lee Designs, and more. Sales, how can I help you?
Located on St. Albert Trail, rideriverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden. Rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Connor Halley is on holidays. Declan Kruger, of course, filling in as we roll through. Busy Wednesday afternoon. The Oilers, I guess they did make a minor move today. Curtis Lazar, the former Edmonton Oil King, part of the last WHL team to win a Memorial Cup championship, comes to Edmonton again. This time is a 30-year-old. Last year, took over 400 faceoffs. So it was 51% in the dot. He's a right shot, can play wing or center, can kill some penalties, and I think he will battle with Noah Philp for the fourth line center spot and maybe the 12th, 13th forward. See how it goes. So that's the move today for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go in the room now. Brought to you by Action Electrical. Take action on your savings. You've been thinking about it? Think no longer. Look outside. It's beautiful. It's sunny. It's hot. You know what's hot? Savings on your solar system. You can get solar for both your home or your business at actionelectrical.net. And we go in the room of one of the hottest teams in sports right now, the Toronto Blue Jays, who with a win tonight could tie the New York Yankees for first place atop the AL East. And we are joined by Mike Wilner. Mike, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm all right, thanks, Jason. How there?
Well, it's good. It's it's not as exciting. It's been a pretty quiet free agency here in Edmonton. The weather's super hot and almost as hot as the Blue Jays, man. Like sold out crowds in Toronto. I know it's Canada Day, but George Springer has not only a great day yesterday, he's had an unreal week here for the Blue Jays, and he's swinging the bat. He's red hot. The Jays are playing well. They've come from behind twice. Like, this team looks like they got a little bit of mojo going right now.
They do right now, absolutely. They're playing really, really well, and probably over the last 6 weeks have been playing really, really well. And yeah, if they win tonight, they're in first place. I mean, I know you said tied, but baseball doesn't do tiebreakers anymore. So if the Blue Jays win, they are first because they'd have the tiebreaker over the Yankees. Baseball doesn't do tiebreaker, those one-game tiebreaks anymore. So it's a big day, and you consider this team was 8 games out at the end of May. The Yankees haven't helped, but the Blue Jays have been one of the best teams in the major league since then, and it's because of all those little pieces working together. The Stars haven't exactly been the Stars, but this really does appear to have been like a 30-man effort.
Well, yeah, that's fair, right? Because it's not like Vladdy Guerrero is killing it this year. He's been okay. Like, what do you make of his season?
It's been fine. I'll take this season from Vlad every year. You expect a little bit more, like an OPS around 850, 25 to 30 home runs. You do that. If that's your floor, and that's what he seems to be his floor, then that's a superstar. So he's, not having an MVP type season. He's just been steady and very good. He's still been, I think he's their best hitter by OPS, even with all the other stories that they've had this year. So I think a lot of people think when you give someone a crap load of money, it's going to change them and make them into a much better player than they were. But the Jays are paying Vladdy for what he is, and he's continued to be what he is. The support staff has been really, really good around him.
Yeah, one of those guys is Addison Barger, who's come on. You know what? He's had some big hits. At times he's 796. Vladdy's 827 at OPS. So it's a pretty good year for Barger. Kind of, where do you see, like, what's his big potential? Is this kind of good? Do you think he still has more to go, and he's just kind of scratching the surface on what he could become?
I mean, I don't think he's scratching the surface. I think he's having a phenomenal couple of months. And he's certainly got this in him, but he's got work to do. There's no question about it. He's shown that a lot of times he can be pitched to with some spin. He will attack a fastball and he will destroy a mistake, but he's been vulnerable to the off-speed stuff and to the breaking stuff. And, the pitchers who have tried to challenge him with fastballs have learned that that's not something you really should do. So I think over his last 35, 40 at-bats, he's hitting under 200 because they're starting to adjust to that. He's going to have to learn how to adjust back. But very obviously, we've seen when he's going well, the amount of damage that he can do.
Yeah, well, when he's hot, definitely red hot. You need some guys at different times. Now, one guy's been hot all year long, man, and that contract looking better and better all the time. Alejandro Kirk is having himself a season.
He really is. I mean, he's, if not for Cal Raleigh, he's the best catcher in Major League Baseball. So the Blue Jays saw this in him. We saw it in him. He was an all-star and a Silver Slugger in 2021. We knew he could do this, and he's still young, right? He's still 25 or 26. This is what Alejandro Kirk is capable of. Now, he's a catcher, and he's getting a lot of work back there, especially as the undisputed number one catcher on the team, which he's never been before. So you can expect that performance to drop off in August and September because that's just what catchers do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The job wears you down. But he's banking a lot of offense right now, and it is fantastic to see.
Yeah, no, it is. He's played very well. And you mentioned it, like lots of guys, like they're doing this, Varsho's been out for a lot of the season there. I think he's only played 24 games. What's the latest on him?
He is starting to run, I think, down in Florida, down at the Blue Jays Player Development Complex. I don't know if, we don't get a lot of updates on him because I think he's just sort of steadily moving towards an eventual rehab assignment. We're getting a little close where he probably won't be back before the All-Star break, which is kind of what was expected when he got hurt. I think it was May 30th, and that's it's a 4 to 6 week thing, and it's going to wind up being 6 weeks. But, in those 3.5 weeks that he played, he led the team in home runs, not just over that period, but over the whole season when he went down. And he plays that incredible defense. So, they can't wait to have him back. But you're right, to do this without Dalton Varsho for most of the year, without anything from Anthony Santander, pretty much, he's been a complete zero offensively. And now he's been on the IL a day longer than Varsho has, to do it with almost no offense from Andres Jimenez as well, without Jimmy Garcia, who just came back off the injured list today. It really does speak well of the Bargers and the Kirks and Springer and, the Ernie Clements of the world, who are doing such an incredible job.
Well, Ernie Clement, I'd read a story. Someone thought he was the Jays MVP. I'm like, okay, that might be a little bit over the top here, but very quietly, man, he's just a reliable guy for them. Doesn't, he always he doesn't get like monster hit. He just seems to get timely hits.
Well, I mean, he did hit 400 over a month, so he's getting a lot of hits, and timely or otherwise. He does lead the Blue Jays in WAR. So, there's a case for him to be made for him as the MVP. I'm with you that I don't think he really is, but he has been an incredible contributor, and he's played every infield position, and he's played defense incredibly well at every infield position. He's destroyed left-handed pitchers, which is something the Blue Jays haven't had in a very long time. Someone who just absolutely mashes lefties. He hasn't really been even good against right-handers, but that's where those timely hits sort of fill in. Like Andres Jimenez OPS against righties is 100 points higher than Clement, which I never would have thought given the two of their numbers. But, I mean, he's done so much great work against left-handers and on defense and on the bases, and he's picked his spots and got some really big hits against righties too. It's been incredible, and it really does, unfortunately, hammer home that the Blue Jays, could still have Spencer Horwitz and $100 million because they didn't need to trade for Jimenez at all with Ernie Clement here, but unfortunately they didn't see that.
Mike Wilner joins us. Mike, on the mound, where are you at about the pitching staff? Like, if they're looking to add here at the deadline, is that the obvious place they're adding?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you need at least one more starting pitcher and at least one more reliever, and they have to be pretty high end. I mean, they've leaned on Gausman, Barrios, and Bassett all year, and they've gotten 13 innings out of Max Scherzer for their $15 million. And as much as he's healthy now and pitching well, those two starts, it's likelier that he's winds up on the injury list at some point again than not, just because of that track record over the last couple of years. And Eric Lauer has been a great story, but Eric Lauer's found money. I don't think you could really count on him to be a key piece of the starting rotation all year long. That would be great if he keeps pitching this well. And you have Jeff Hoffman, steady. You have Jimmy Garcia, terrific. Yariel Rodriguez and Braden Fisher have emerged out of nowhere.
Yes.
And while it's not likely that they go right back to nowhere, it's always possible. And the teams that win in the playoffs are the teams that have deep and killer bullpens. So it will be great to see them add. Now, I'd love to see them add a couple of relievers and a starter, which might be a little too much to ask.
Now, when you think of starters, I'm sure you started to look around the league, or who are some guys you think might be pluckable?
Honestly, I really haven't started to look around the league because, these things change so quickly, especially now in the days of the 12 teams make the playoffs league. There are teams that believe that they're in it on July 20th, and then on July 27th, they're sellers. Things can change so quickly. I honestly, all these people start to put out stories like in the first week of May about who might be available from the trade deadline. And a lot of those early stories, like Bo Bichette was ahead, and there was never any chance that he was going to get traded. So a lot of these people are writing that stuff for clicks, don't really have true insight into teams on an individual level. And it'd be a little much for me to guess at who the Blue Jays might go after and what it might cost them, because it always costs less than you think.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Especially when it comes to relievers, man. Like relievers are bordering on goalies in hockey. Because they can be unpredictable from one year to the next on someone. A guy gets red hot, he's looking unreal. Then the next year, he's option to AAA baseball after 3 months. Like it's weird and hard to fathom. Like obviously it's a tough role to play, but you see it. You mentioned some of the guys in Toronto that maybe come out of nowhere and how well they're playing. And a lot of times a guy like that just carries on for 1 year, but isn't necessarily repeatable the next year.
1,000%. Yeah, relievers are the most up and down out of anybody. Like Chad Green's been one of the best relievers in baseball for the last 8 years. And this year he's given up more home runs than any other reliever in the game. And he's having a tough time, but he could easily turn around and be untouchable after the All-Star break. When you're going out there on the market looking for relief pitching, what you want is someone with a good track record who is having a good year. You're not looking for a bounce back guy, and you don't want to get those, flash in the pans, because those flashes could be over as soon as you get the guy. So it's really tough to go out there and try to find the right fit. And even then, you still never really know what you're going to get as far as relievers go.
Yeah, no, that is totally valid. Great stuff, Mac. What's your expectations for the rest of this series, man? There's lots of excitement in Toronto. The Jays, man, if you do the sweep, that'd be unreal. Then they'd actually be in first place. But even if they split the next two games, they would leave this series one game back of the Yankees, which is pretty good.
Right. And that would be huge to finish this series, the game back, to take 3 or 4. I mean, a sweep, like you said, would be unreal and wholly unexpected. And I still, I'm born and raised here. we can't have nice things in Toronto. It just doesn't work that way. So I'm absolutely expecting the Blue Jays to lose these next 2 games and wind up with a series split. But you know, they're playing really, really well now. There is a ton of great vibes around this team. It would not surprise me to see them win tonight and tomorrow, and this city would just flip its lid.
Oof. Should be fun. Awesome. Thanks for your time, man. We appreciate it.
All right, you bet. Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Mike Wilner. And now, speaking of flip your lid, do you know where that saying came from? Declan Kruger, do you know what flip your lid stands for?
I don't know. Is it something like back in the days when kids used to play with pails and they would like get really freaked out? They would flip it or something?
No, flip your lid is really, it's really in reference to your brain. And so if you, for anybody who's watching the show online, so you think I have my hand closed, you know, so your brain stem is the bottom. And as you age, right, your brain develops more and the top part of your brain comes in last, right? And so when you flip your lid, sometimes that's what happens. And so it's literally you open up and your emotional side takes completely over and your rational side is basically overruled at times. And so flip your lid really, because I had one of my psychologist friends would explain it, and he was drawing he was showing us the brain, because we were talking about brain development in young kids and even through teenagers and stuff, and how everybody's talked about it, you know, how your frontal lobe is not completely developed. And so, you know, the last thing to develop is your ability to essentially kind of count to 5 and understand, okay, I can't make a rational decision here. But flipping your lid is often when we lose our temper and somebody flips his lid. Well, it's all of a sudden now your cortex, you're not thinking, and we're just having your complete override of our emotional side of the brain.
So I essentially couldn't have been further away. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Right.
It wasn't
not
about,
close.
Wasn't
Not
about
close.
kids
Hey,
in hats, though.
Not a good day for me.
No,
That's
kids in
Bounce
hats.
back in 5 questions.
That was a good one. Kids in hats. So nice. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. Andy Strickland will join us. What about the Blues? We're in Cairo. What is up? I don't understand it. What am I missing? We'll find out next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, your one-stop shop. Casino, sports, live dealer, lottery, instants, and more. And, of course, the OG, the Lotto 649. Get your tickets tonight at PlayAlberta.ca.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
No, another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezer start at just $199. Barbecues start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below cost scratch and dent items. In-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Our average used RV sells for around 30 grand. Some are more, some are less. And literally no one has 30 G's just sitting in their checking account.
Monthly payments are the best way to get the used RV that's right for your family.
That's right, Bob. Financing should be a stress-free process. But let me tell you a little secret. My granddaughters think I'm a model citizen. but I was young once. And if you look back into my credit history, you can see that it wasn't always excellent.
Perfect credit is nice, but not easily achievable.
You said it, Bob, but less than perfect credit is not a good reason to keep you from the great outdoors this season. I built our financing plans for the real world. And in the real world, nobody has a perfect credit score. So let's talk about how easy it is to make your favorite used RV affordable. As long as you promise not to tell Saxon and Goldie that I'm not perfect.
And that's no bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Jump on OTR's party shuttle buses to Elks games, Riverhawks games, and concerts at Commonwealth. To see all upcoming bus events, visit ontherocksyag.com.
He's not just another pair of glasses. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for checking out Edmonton Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through. How are you? Jason Gregor, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. It is hot, man. Got like a heat wave going on. So hydrate, please, for whatever you do in your life. Do not leave your animals or your children in your vehicle. Okay, not good, not smart. Be smarter. Hydrate, use some sunscreen. It is hot outside. As we are going to talk a little NHL as we get to the rumor report brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, use the promo code Gregor50, and you'll get a free $50 play at PlayAlberta.ca. Andy Strickland from the Cam and Strick podcast, longtime beat reporter for the St. Louis Blues. Andy Strickland joins us, and I want to start off with Jordan Kyrou. Why is his name out there in trade talk? What am I missing?
You're not missing much. That's a good question. Listen, I honestly believe, and I think this is how it works, Jason, is that one person puts out a report and then everybody just grabs a hold of it and runs with it. And I think they used a little bit of connecting the dots and looking at his no trade clause kicking in on July 1st and thinking, okay, well, this is the window where you have to move him. You tell me how many teams move on from their leading goal scorer right after they had their best season in the National Hockey League, where the team made the playoffs. He's got 6 years left on his deal in a world where the salary cap is going up and he makes $8 million a year. Like, who's trying to move on from that player? Now, if he had 16 goals this past season instead of 36 goals, then I could understand. Maybe you are trying to move on from Jordan Kyrou. But listen, the Blues are way deeper. And, you know, I never thought there was any truth to it. I reported that. His camp never believed there was any truth to it. The Blues never indicated whatsoever they were looking to move him. I'm sure they had some conversations that involved him, just like you would with anybody else. And if they were to move on from him, then that means a really, really good player is coming back the other way. But we just never really got there. Jordan Kyrou was a big part of this team. And like I said, he was a plus 23, I believe, last season, following a 2-year combined minus 50. So he's trending north, not trending south, and the Blues want to move forward with them. And to summarize here, Jason, all you got to do is look at the fact that they moved on from Zach Bolduc. That's an area of strength and depth for this team. When you look at the wing position, they just drafted another one in Justin Carbonneau this past weekend in the NHL entry draft. You look at, Holloway, you see Kyrou, you see Buchnevich. You look at the Blues top, Jake Neighbors is another one. They've got a ton of guys, obviously, on the wing right now. So a lot of depth there. Pavel Buchnevich being another one. And so the fact that they move on from Zach Bolduc kind of tells you everything you need to know about their commitment to Jordan Kyrou.
Yeah, it just seems it seemed odd to me. Okay, well, that makes way more sense. Now this Bolduc trade, a good rookie, had a really good year. I'm kind of intrigued by it. I know Mayu, lots of people like him. He's a good prospect, but you don't see these type of trades very often. Is it the Blues just feel that they just don't have enough good young defensemen? That's why they make this trade?
I think that's a big part of it, especially on the right side. Listen, they're hard to come by. And, you look at Montreal, I mean, similar situation that the Blues are in, with the Blues depth at the wing position. I mean, you look at Lane Hudson now in Montreal, they just bring in Noah Dobson, you got Matheson. I mean, they've got a number of bodies there right now in Montreal. So all of a sudden a player like Mailloux becomes expendable. And listen, the Blues fully believe they got the best player in the deal, and time will tell. I mean, it's very unusual, as you know, to see, a young player, 22 years of age, just one full season in the NHL and scoring 22 goals in his first full season and seeing a team move on from that player. That almost never happens. But the fact that Mailloux just hasn't had a ton of NHL playing experience, I think leads people to wonder, hey, how do you make this deal? And thinking maybe the Blues even got fleeced in this deal. This guy's got a ton of potential. People making the comparison to, Evan Bouchard. I don't know if it's because both players played in London. I don't know what it is, but, if that's the case, then obviously the Blues got a good player. But I talked to a few Montreal players and people who are inside the organization, and they're raving about this kid in terms of his size, his skill level, his incredible shot. This guy can absolutely pound it up top. He can score goals. He's got really smooth hands and dynamic playmaking ability, just in terms of his ability to handle the puck. I'm excited to see him play, but even talking to some of the scouts today and some people inside the organization at development camp for the Blues, they believe they got the best player in the deal, and they have no worries whatsoever that it's going to turn out to be otherwise. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Listen, people ask me who won this deal, and this is truly one of those hockey trades where you're going to have to say, hey, come and see me 2 years from now.
Yeah, no, I'm sure Montreal will tell you, hey, we think we got the best guy. So we'll see. Now, if I look at the Blues lineup, we know that Torrey Krug sounds like his career's over, unfortunately. So you got Falk, and you got Parayko, and you got Broberg, and you got Fowler, Tyler Tucker, Logan Mailloux. I know they put Nick Leddy on waivers today to see if maybe one of those teams that has to get to the cap floor will take a bite on him. It's not a buyout one. But do you think that they'll try to do everything they can to move Leddy before the start of the season? What do you make of that move today?
Oh, I think they will, and I think he'd be open to going elsewhere too if he can find a spot where he can go be a 5 or a 6. I'm a little bit surprised that nobody would bite on his contract. Just 1 year left at I think around $4 million. That's what he's making. Listen, he had a pretty significant injury last season. He missed several games. He had a neck injury, Jason, that there was some nerve damage. They couldn't really even pinpoint exactly what it was. And a couple of the muscles around the area never really fully recovered, so it took him some time to get back onto the ice. And, his minutes were reduced, and I just think his season just kind of should be thrown out the window because it's not the Nick Leddy that we're used to seeing. 2 years ago, he was paired with Colton Parayko, and they were really good together. And, obviously the mindset with the organization was way different at that time. I mean, they were thinking, hey, maybe this guy finishes his career here in St. Louis. But then injuries, obviously, you just can't predict when those are going to happen. And I think that's what happened with Nick Leddy. They'll continue to try to find a team to take him. But if they can't now, you just wonder if they're going to be able to later in the summer unless a team, suffers some type of off-season injury unexpectedly. But we'll see if somebody takes him off the waiver wire. But I would think if they're going to take him off the waiver wire, then, then maybe they would have been willing to give up a 6th or 7th round pick or 5th round pick or whatever, just to get him. The Blues aren't always looking to retain salary either.
Right.
And I'm sure there were some teams out there who said, hey, we'll take him, but you guys are going to have to eat some money. And it doesn't look like the Blues are willing to do that.
Yeah, not just yet. You never know, right? Like, retain $1 million, and as you get closer, and if you want to free up $3 million, then maybe you're going to have to retain $1 million. We'll see.
And then you look at the move they made today, right? I mean, so they bring in Priest Suter. They've been trying to identify a second line center. I mean, Mikael Granlund was their guy. That's who they wanted. Suter, he scored 25 goals last season. I don't know if you can expect him to do that again. I did my homework on him even prior to free agency. I never got the sense that he is your prototypical top 6 center. He can play in a top 6 role, but is he a guy that you just plug in and say, hey, you're fine, having him in your top 6? You still have Braden Shen here, so there's some flexibility to kind of flip-flop those guys when necessary. But I think it's a good move for the Blues just to kind of shore up the center position. I mean, that was an area of need. They had to address that and bring somebody in, and they got a pretty good player in doing so.
Andy Strickland joins us, Sports 1440. We're talking now the St. Louis Blues. Yeah. So, yeah, they bring in Suter, 2-year deal at $4.125. I'm guessing they kind of view him as their third-line center, I would assume. Anyway, and their forward group's pretty good. Like, they got, you had the guys in Kyrou and Thomas that scored a lot. Buchnevich, obviously Dylan Holloway had himself a breakout year in St. Louis. Now, I know he changed his agent over the summer, and starting right now, he is eligible for a contract extension. Do you think the Blues, is this a big serious thing for them to do? Do they want to wait and see? Was that just a one-off for Dylan Holloway? How do you think the Blues are going to approach his next contract?
Well, that's a good question. I think Broberg's in the same boat. I don't think there's any rush, to get something done. And you're right. He did, change agents. I mean, his previous agent that he had really wasn't that deep into the game. I think Holloway was his only client, to be honest with you. So he's got Judd Moldaver now, obviously, who's got a lot of experience and a lot of big-time players. So, I mean, he's got the right guy. I do think part of it, maybe the Blues want to have an idea of, let's see how he responds from his injury. He had a pretty significant abdominal injury that kept him out of the playoffs. So he didn't get to play in the playoffs last year. See how he recovers from that, how he looks coming back next season. And I know you asked about Kyrou to kick off this conversation. Listen, he and Kyrou have unbelievable chemistry, and they become good friends off the ice. They're constantly on the ice after practice working on things. They're in the video room. They're constantly in the shooting room. In fact, it was Steve Ott, the Blues assistant coach, who went to Jim Montgomery and said, hey, listen, why don't we just play these guys together? They're constantly working out together. Why don't we put them on a line together? And once they did, they just kind of took off. So, listen, they will get an extension done with both players. Again, I don't think it was a matter that was urgent on either side for the player or the team to get to work on this right off the bat. Like you said, he's eligible for an extension now on July 1st. I don't know if we'll see one before the beginning of the regular season. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out.
Lastly, what did you make of free agency? And because I asked this question, of the top teams who were in the playoffs last year in the Western Conference, did any of them significantly improve?
Well, not through free agency. I mean, it's like, I know we get excited about free agency, but I mean, what are you trying to do? You know what I mean? Even a team like the Dallas Stars, they elected to keep Duchesne over Granlund. Granlund wanted to stay, and I don't know if that's the right move, to be honest with you. When you look at Duchesne's playoff numbers, I know he scores in the regular season, but Vegas obviously added Mitch Marner. That's a nice move. I like what Anaheim has done. I just feel like even by adding Joel Quenneville behind the bench, I think is going to really get that organization kind of moving in the right direction. They bring in Kreider. Sometimes it's not about the move that you see in free agency, but it's the trades that are made prior to free agency. So,
I agree with you.
Is there really anybody that really got better in free agency? I don't know if you can make the case that anybody really got better. I think Florida got better in the Eastern Conference by keeping everybody. But I will say Vegas, by adding Mitch Marner, I think that's a good fit for him and the team. I think he'll fit in really nicely there.
Now, although they do lose Pietrangelo and Haig on the back end. So I'll be curious to see that's a big loss for sure. Pietrangelo sounds like his career is over, which is unfortunate. Yeah. So, Andy, always good to catch up with you, man. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Anytime, Jason. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
There you go. That's Andy Strickland joining us from St. Louis. So he doesn't feel that Kyrou is really on the market. So we'll see. But Suter, they really like the trade in Logan Mailloux, who he can bomb the puck, man. That guy can rip it. So I'll be interested to see what they do on the back end in St. Louis next year. So Nick Leddy's available. Maybe someone takes him on waivers. I don't know about that. But there are some teams that just got to get to the floor. And there's not a lot of free agents left. So maybe you take Nick Leddy. But maybe you say, we'll wait. And maybe we'll take him and get a draft pick in return and maybe force St. Louis to retain at least $1 million. We'll see. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions or more. Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season.
If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
So you're dying from the heat, sweat dripping on your sheets. You want to cool it down, but your AC can't compete. So you fall upon your knees and cry out, oh please, I need a cooling breeze. Stanley Legacy's AC Repairman. Legacy's AC Repairman. AC Repairman. Spell Legacy without AC. Legacy Heating and Cooling's got a guy who's really good at fixing broken ACs. So if you got one, call Legacy. Okay, see you later. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Grab your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Redblacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at GoElks.com.
Breaking news, McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza Bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, it's just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
Hey everybody, it's Gene Principe, the Prince of Puns, and I've got something that definitely will float your boat. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from LA and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters and have some drinks with umbrellas in them, you could attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Jason Strudwick, Kelly Buchberger, Ron Lowe, and more. Don't miss out on every hockey fan's dream cruise, the Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. It's going to be one hell of a trip. Prices start at just $23.99, and part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton or call 1-833-347-7678. Call and save $200 when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. Cast Tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan. For all your residential water needs, your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.47, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. As you know what, still lots going on in the world of sports. The Oilers did make the one small move today as they signed Curtis Lazar to a 1-year deal. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick and their biggest appliance sale. You can get the lowest price on appliances guaranteed. Save up to $1,000 when you buy 2 or more select major kitchen appliances, up to 60% off clearance appliances, and below cost scratch and dent. In-store only. Check it out at The Brick.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1. What would an ideal Curtis Lazar 25-26 season look like by your expectations?
Man, I don't know how many. I think he might play 40 games. So I don't have huge high expectations, to be honest. I'm not sure. You know, is he going to be a regular in the lineup? I think he brings in a right shot center, and we'll see. He played 45 games in New Jersey, so kind of maybe similar to that.
Question number 2, which GM or team had the worst July 1st or start to free agency?
It's hard to look at LA and think that those contracts are going to give you great value. So I guess I would have to go with LA.
Question number 3. I'm of the opinion that, I don't know why I put so much emphasis on but I'm of the opinion that Logan Stankoven's extension was a poor decision on his part. I know he only has like 20 goals in 100 games so far, but young guy, highly skilled, a lot of talent. Where do you come out on his extension?
Well, you're getting guaranteed $48 million. So I can't say it's a bad decision. You know, he went to Carolina. He was a half a point a game player. He was a half a point a game player in Dallas. So you're getting $6 million. So he's projecting that maybe he would become a 60-point player. Well, that's a hell of a jump from a 40-point guy. So I don't mind that at all. It's a smaller player. Like, the NHL is hard. So I would look in 8 years. Do I think that Logan Stankoven is going to be a guy that's like, wow, I really got underpaid? I don't think so. I think this is a great deal for him.
Question number 4. You actually have a vote for the end of season NHL awards, whether it be the Hart, the Norris, the All-Star selection. Have you ever had a selection that you regret? And if regret's too strong of a word, was there ever a year where you were maybe debating between 2 players and looking back, hindsight, you might have changed it?
No, because it happens at the end of the year. So there's nothing I could, like, playoffs are irrelevant. If a guy has a great playoffs, like, well, he had a great playoffs. But the vote is based on the regular season. And like, it comes down to it sometimes, like, you know, usually I find I'm pretty clear cut on who I think is number 1, but then number 2, number 3, number 4, it can be a little bit of debate. Sometimes it's a stretch to be like, well, like Lady Bing, like, I'm sorry. It's, you know, you can research all you want. I can talk to players, but you get into the 4 and 5 range and it's almost like flipping a coin. Although at that point, it probably doesn't matter. So no, I take a lot of pride in ensuring, like, I ask a lot of questions to a lot of people, do a lot of my own research on it. And I'm not one who, when I see guys do their mid-season rankings, I don't read it because I don't want to be influenced to be like, oh, everybody else is saying that, so I should automatically jump on board. So I like to go off of what for me, and I never use anything other than the regular season. I don't look at history. I don't look at reputation. I don't look at, oh, well, this guy, he's due to win. I don't think that's fair. If a guy's the best player every year, then he should be the best player every year. If he's the best defenseman, he should be the best defenseman. If he's the most sports blank, he should be the most sports blank. It's not, I don't vote based on, well, everybody should get a chance to win.
And finally, question at number 5. I've been crushing Love Island lately. They release an episode like every day. Horrible TV show, but I'm fully invested. Can't get enough. Connor's probably asked some version of this at points in the past, but is there what is the trashiest or just most terrible show that you can't stop watching?
What is Love Island?
Oh man. Okay. So basically, picture like just the 20 hottest people you've ever seen. They throw them together on a mansion on an island and they just say fall in love. And that's kind of like the entire parameter of the show.
So there's 10 women, 10 men?
Yeah. So I think it starts with like 5 guys, 5 girls. You'll have people. Oh, I could honestly do a 2-hour show on this. You'll have people brought in who are called bombshells. So some people will come into the island. They're new. Some people will leave. They get voted off. And the end goal, I guess, like I said, is kind of to find a couple, find love, but to be the last couple standing. The top voted couple at the end of the show wins prize money.
So is that the one where like you have to trust that the other person is on the same page as you? Like you hold some stupid silver ball or something like that, and then they can drop it, and that means you're out?
I've never seen anything with a silver ball
or gold ball. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
So how do you like who? So you pick a couple. You pick the person within the first 2 days, and that's who your couple is.
Well, first like 2 hours, actually. Yeah. You initially. Oh, I can't even get into it. It would take too long. But you've got the right idea. You've got the general sentiment about it.
I don't think I'll be wasting any minutes of my life watching that show. What's the trashiest, horrible show you've watched?
You don't want to come over and binge Live Island?
No,
All right.
no. I don't watch reality
Open
TV
invite.
shows. I did watch the original Survivor, and I quite liked it. I thought it was pretty cool, actually. But what's the trashiest show that I watched? It's
Or maybe like in your case, one that your wife watches that you sit in for a couple episodes with.
Yeah, no, she doesn't let me watch her trash shows because I comment too, and she's like, "Would you just shut up? You ruin it for me." So let me watch those. It's a good question. So is yours Love Island then?
Yeah, but yeah, for sure.
Okay. The trashiest horrible show. God. 1 year I had to watch this when my nephew played in the Sharks and they were terrible. I had watched every Shark game because I was pretty trashy. So I might go with that one. But that's not around anymore. I would. Like, what's a bad show that I just kept watching? And there is one on Netflix, and I just felt like I was pot committed in the show. I was like, God, the show's getting terrible. And I just kept watching it. But right now, I'll have to think of the name during the commercial break. But I remember I was like, why are you still watching that? You think it sucks? I'm like, I know, but I'm pot committed. So now I want to see how it ends, which is kind of because literally it ended, and I was like, oh, thank God it's over. Like, it was so dumb of me just to continue to watch it. It was like, oh, yeah, Prison Break. It started out really well, but then the last few years just sucked. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why am I still watching it? So, yes, Prison Break. That was the first year was awesome. And then after that, it was just downhill. But I stayed pot committed.
That's generally what it is, right? Like this show is the definition of that phrase. It's a car crash, but you can't look away. Like there's no reason I should be watching it. Every time I watch it, I get mad. But some shows are like that. Like to your credit, with Prison, some show you just have to finish them.
Yeah. Hey guys, 90 Day Fiance. Trust me, it gets worse. Hey guys, I watched Naked Dating UK. Well, that's kind of funny. Like, I don't know. It seems like I could see a young teenager boy watch. Hey, you know what? You might have saw a side profile here that's pretty good. So I get it. Hey guys, fall in love. It's more than just hooking up. Love Island is terrible from Fat Efron. So we'll see. Hey guys, do you think we'd look at trading Lavoie back? I like the way he skated in the shot with Draisaitl, Josh and Sherwood Park. I can tell you there is zero chance of that happening. Zero. Nope. Not a great skater. So no, he is not a top 6 player in any form in the NHL at this point. So there you go. Hey guys, Vanderpump Rules is another one. My wife loves such crap TV. But Jordan, it sounds like it's your wife, but you're also watching, right? Well, my wife, you know what? She likes, I don't really like it, but I watch it. Come on. At some point you've graduated. Once you watch like 3 or 4 full episodes of a show, can't blame your spouse anymore. I think you've committed yourself now.
I was going to say, Jordan's also texted in like 3 or 4 different shows.
Yeah.
And it keeps me like, oh, my wife.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I don't know, Jordan. This one might be on you, buddy.
Yeah. And it's like, well, I like spending time with her, but are you talking to her? I don't know. So, hey guys, Temptation Island, so trashy, but I can't look away. Steve. You know what? Sometimes you need to watch something that's mindless, and it just, you know what? You don't really like. It doesn't take a lot of thought, so I can understand why some people like those shows. I get, and there's nothing wrong with. And some people, it's my guilty pleasure. I admit it, right? It's kind of like us watching sports. Sometimes you're watching game 52 of an 82 game season that means nothing. You're like, yeah, that's right. So I can see it. I totally get it. 4:57, quick break. We'll return. Gregor Show on Sports 1440 after Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by eWell, your partner in power since 1975. For all your electrical gear, think ewell.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers news is the club has signed forward Curtis Lazar to a one-year contract worth $775,000. 30-year-old center posted 2 goals and 5 points in 48 games with the Devils last season. The St. Louis Blues have signed UFA forward Luis Suter to a 2-year, $8 million contract. He had 25 goals and 46 points in 81 games with the Canucks last season. 3 games in the majors right now, 2 tied at 0-0. Tigers and Nats and Padres and Phillies Twins. They lead the Marlins 1-0 at the end of the first. Blue Jays will be up in about 10 minutes time here as they play host to the New York Yankees. Jose Barrios on the mound in this one. DeAndre Ayton has signed with the Los Angeles Lakers after being bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers. He's set to make $34 million between the two clubs next season. And Edmonton Elks news is they have added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice roster, while Tamari Fox has been placed on the 6-game injured list with an ankle injury. Johnson joins the green and gold after 5 seasons with the South Carolina Gamecocks. And Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight down at Remax Field against Port Angeles, that one with a 7:05 first pitch. I'm Declan Kruger, and this has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
An electrical solar team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather-appointed seats. And radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a 1-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Back by popular demand, the Operation 36 Junior Golf Program at Cattail Crossing Golf Club. Designed for kids ages 5 through 17. It combines instruction and on-course play, focusing on technique, strategy, and course management. Taught by certified CPGA pros. Only $325 for 4 weeks of instruction, plus 4 9-hole rounds of golf. Operation 36, Wednesdays 5:30 till 7:30 p.m. through August. Register at cattailcrossing.ca. Click on Junior Program or call 780-973-6686.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the 2 best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Alberta is already the economic engine of Canada. But we could be so much more prosperous if Ottawa would work with us, rather than attack our economy and jobs. The status quo needs to change. But how? The Alberta Next panel wants to hear from you on how we can best strengthen Alberta's sovereignty and position within a united Canada. Please visit alberta.ca/next and tell us what you think Alberta's next step should be. A message from the Government of Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get your quote now at japamachinery.com.
Look good, feel good, play good. It's the Jason Gregor Show. Thanks for listening to Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Rolling right through a busy Wednesday, man. I know it's some people are like, oh, the summer, what do you guys talk about? But there's no shortage of topics. And in the summer, we have some special guests planned coming in studio to go a little bit deeper, a little bit long form interviews, which we found in the past to be very appreciative of the audience. So we'll get into that. And we talk, of course, all the sports. We will look at, we'll have a fun off-season look. And I'm sure we might have a little fun with the McDavid update daily, just for fun. We'll do it in a humorous one. I'm not one who thinks it's going to be a big concern. Now, I guess there's a chance I could be wrong for sure, but I would be surprised if McDavid doesn't sign an extension before the start of training camp. I'm sure the longer it goes, it might be a little bit more stressful for some. We might have to talk to our friends at PlayAlberta.ca. And so, what if they could set a date on the day he signs? I might have to talk to Rick. Is that something we could do? That'd be fun, actually. Pick the day that you think he signs an extension. Why not? Could be fun. PlayAlberta.ca. We'll have to. I don't even know if that's how that works. If not, but it would be fun. Right? I know many of you have done it with your friends. Hey, this is when I think their kid's going to be born. It happens. So you're if you had to pick a date on when Connor McDavid signs his extension, what date would you pick? Would it be before the season? During the season? What would it be? Would it be never? Oh. I don't think an Oiler fan would pick that, though. Non-Oiler fans would pick that, but I don't think Oiler fans would. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist. If you are looking for a career, not just a job, go to gsconstruction.ca as they are hiring today. As we Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Beautiful day today. Hot enough for you? All that stuff?
Oh, geez. Well, we're inside here. I got the AC going, but I have looked at, they got the heat wave warning going on right now. It is hot out there. So don't leave your pets in your vehicles, and use your sunscreen and hydrate. It's kind of the key things.
There you go. Can barely walk the dog. Dog looks at me after a half a block and says, what the hell are we doing out here?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
go back home.
Yeah, it's the old Abe Simpson right there. Woo! One little quick lap, get around the driveway. We're out. Yeah, it is, especially if you got a dog who's hot and doesn't. Now, some places there's water and then the dogs will go swimming, as the lake out by our place. But my dog's not a swimmer, so she ain't walking in the heat. You can maybe go early in the morning at 6. It's about the only time. Other than that, she'll be like, this is a nap day.
I got a little brewery by me that serves waters both the human and the dog at the same time. So maybe that's a place to walk to.
Not bad at all. So, Spec, now they got Mangiapane late last night. Yes. Give me your thoughts on him.
I think I always liked him with Calgary. I think he brings you, we've always said the Oilers are not a team that ever instigates, they haven't had enough guys that get under someone else's skin. And I think he can do that. He said this morning in his interview, that's what his plan is to do. It's part of his game. I think we've seen that he's probably, in a good year, he's kind of a 20-20 guy, right? 20 goals, 20 assists, something like that. So if you're paying 3.6 and if he can He'll get some top six time here. If he can come in with 40, 45 points for 3.6, that's good value. So I don't mind the move. I thought it was I don't mind the player one bit. How about you?
Yeah, I don't mind that. For 3.6 mil, I think there's a chance that can he do more for your team than Arvidsson did? That's kind of like a trade in a way, in a roundabout way. You save $400K, and that's how I see it. I went through the Oilers roster, and I like to look at, so we're starting this season compared to how they started last year, because ultimately that's what matters, not how you finished, because, teams like, when you make trades late in the year, that obviously impacts what you do in the playoffs, because they're there now in the playoffs. They weren't your team for the first, 3/4 of the season through 60 games, right? So to me, I understand that. And I looked at the Oilers and I said, okay, so I compared last year's roster through the first, 59, 60 games up until the trade deadline to this year. And so Nugent Hopkins, McDavid, Hyman, Draisaitl, Podkolzin, Henrique, Janmark, Kapanen, because he did play 35 of those games, so I included him because he was one of their top 12 forwards in games played. They're back. But Arvidsson's gone, Skinner's gone, Brown's gone, Perry's gone, Derek Ryan. So there's 5 guys gone. And they're replaced by Mangiapane, Tomasek, Frederick, Savoy, and then maybe one of Philp or Lazar, right? And that's kind of how I see it. So when I looked at the line combination, like, I don't think the Oilers are much worse off. I don't think they're necessarily better than that team. I do think their defense core is actually better, 1 through 5, because Wallman's here to start the year, and he wasn't there last year. So that's kind of where I see it. Goaltenders are the exact same. There's probably a better chance their goalies can have a better combined save percentage than they did last year through the first 60 games, which was .897. So I guess there's that. But what do you make of now? Like, do you think Lazar plays? And when you see all the changes, are you concerned because they've got, some question marks in Savoy and Tomasek, who really have no NHL experience?
Well, a few things. Like, I like the fact that there's a veteran that Noah Philp is going to have to be better than if he's going to get that job. I never like a situation where you bring in an unproven NHLer and say, okay, it's your job. Now prove that you can hold on to it. I want him to have to prove he can earn it. So that's good. Lazar is good. The rest of the way, there's going to be question marks. Can Tomasek play in this league? I don't know. Nobody knows. Let's find it out. Savoy, we saw a little bit last year. I think we all agree he'll survive in this league, but how much of an impact can he make this year? I don't know. Let's see. Your question marks on this roster, though, Jason, aren't in places where they're going to crush you if they don't work. You don't have 3 defensemen you're wondering about. Like the goaltending or not, you don't have goaltending that may not win enough games for you. The goaltending is going to win enough games for you, right? Your top 6 is very solid. So sure, a couple bottom 6 spots, that we're going to wonder about, and they're going to have to figure out. And I think Stan Bowman's shown that over the course of the season, he can scratch the correct itches that arise over the course of the year, whether it's the waiver wire or whatever it is. But I don't mind, a lot of guys last year had worse years, including Connor McDavid, right, than the year before. Mm-hmm. I expect some of those guys to have better regular seasons this year than they had last. Don't you?
Yeah, well, there's going to be some guys who have better and some guys who have worse, right? It's just, now some years you can have everybody have better, and that's why you have a great year. It's like Florida in the playoffs, right? Like, Florida has had everybody had like almost a career year, man. Like, they had 8 guys with 18 points. It was unbelievable. It's great for them. But, the Panthers are basically rolling back the exact same team. And I think it's unrealistic to think they're going to have the exact same success. I know they're the 2-time champs and everybody likes them now. That's true. And it's cool. But you look, when the Oilers were great, they didn't just run back the same guys all the time. Like, you had your main core, but they did switch out guys. And so I'll be curious about Florida. And really, Edmonton doesn't have to worry about Florida until the Cup final. They don't. That's just a fact. So they have to worry about Dallas and Vegas and Colorado and Vancouver and Minnesota and St. Louis and maybe Anaheim if you think they're a team on the rise, right? So that's, you can't worry too much about Florida until you get there. But I will say, like, Dallas hasn't hardly made any moves other than their head coach. LA went out and signed a lot of guys who are older to some multi-year deals, and to me, it's kind of a risk. So I'm not sure they're any better at all. They actually lost Gavrikov. So I think Edmonton, well, I don't know if Edmonton's any better in the regular season. I don't see them actually being as any worse than their roster for the first 50 games last year, unless there's some injuries. So I still see them as a playoff team, and it more comes down to what does Stan Bowman do in season to improve his team?
Well, how much cap space do you save that can accrue? And, what's $1 million at the start of the season is like 4.5 at the deadline or something like that, right? They're not an LTIR team anymore. So there's going to be some of that. I agree. I look around the West and I don't see teams that got significantly better, frankly. Vancouver brought back some guys, good for them, but they're the same guys they had. Demko's the giant question mark there for sure. I think the Oilers taught us something last year, Jay. Like I say, a whole bunch of guys had a less productive regular season last year than the year before. And they stumbled at the start of the first round against LA, and that was a little close for comfort there. But I think we figured out pretty quick that the regular season you don't win anything in the regular season. I think Edmonton will be a better regular season team this year, having done this thing before, this short summer and all that. But it doesn't matter. No one remembers how good you were in February, man. It's about how good you are in April and May.
Yeah, no, it's totally valid. And that's where the Oilers will be at. Is there a team that, was there a few free agent signings you liked after sitting down and having a beer after the frenzy yesterday?
Yeah, all the ones that came in. I saw P.S. Suter ended up in St. Louis today. That was interesting. I don't. This may not be one I like, but whose name I haven't heard even once out there is Jeff Skinner. Have you?
No, not by anybody yet, but he'll probably sign on.
He's going to sign. He's still a viable NHL player. I believe he's still on Buffalo's payroll, is he not?
Yes. Oh yeah,
he's
a big buyout for the Sabres.
Yeah, so he's going to come. I'm just saying, at this time of year when everybody's name is thrown out everywhere, and I heard you talking to Andy Strickland, and I totally agree on Kyrou. When I heard Kyrou's name pop up, I thought, come on, not trading Kyrou. Jeff Skinner, everyone has known for a long time, he's going to be a UFA, and the Oilers aren't taking him back, and he's going to play for somebody, isn't he? Oh my goodness. So that's one. I'll be interested to see where he lands. I'm kind of with you on LA. I don't know, the biggest thing for me in LA, Jay, is I don't care who they get. If they're going to keep lining up at center ice and playing like it's 1998, the Oilers are going to beat them for fun the next 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
It's half about their personnel and it's half about how they play. And until someone down there gets it through their thick skull that you can't play Jacques Lemaire, stand around and go backwards hockey in 2025, it doesn't work. The Oilers have pounded that nail home for 4 years in a row. They can't figure it out in LA. I got to think that Kenny Holland's going to put an end to that garbage hockey. Don't you?
Well, yeah, you'd think so, but I don't know, man. I think that's kind of how they play. I don't know if you can suddenly change it. Their coach, obviously, the GM has some say in it, but really, usually the GM will let his coach kind of coach how he wants, right? So, but it is a valid question, man. I totally agree with you. It doesn't. They were a little bit better last year, but not much, right? Not much.
Still line up at center ice.
Yes,
Florida. Florida clogs up the neutral zone, but they come forward at you. They pressure you, right? Mm-hmm. If you got to pass there to, pass your own blue line, the guys were coming right at you and making you make decisions right now. LA backs up. They back up. You chuck it over them and you go get it again. And the Oilers there's a reason Edmonton owns LA, Jason, right? There's a reason they went down 2 games, got their attention and beat them 4 straight. There's a reason for it because that stuff doesn't work. So I hope LA changes because I like the roster and I like a lot of their players. Don't like the way they play. And I guess the last one for me is Vegas. Marner's, they're going to have more goals out of Marner, no question. But Pietrangelo has been the heartbeat of that team for a long time. He's been made their minutes leader, their leader on defense. Arguably their best player is him and Eichel are a coin flip. If he's completely gone, I don't know if you just recover from that in 1 year. I'm not sure you just skate out in October and go, oh, well, the guy we've counted on for 7 years or whatever it is, he's gone, but we're going to be just as good. I'm not sure, Jay, you can do that.
No, that's fair. Quickly, Spec, I know you're a big baseball guy. What do you make of the Jays?
Yeah. What fun. Fun. Springer hitting 2 home runs yesterday, grand slam against the Yankees. That's, listen, I think there's 2 teams. There's 2 Toronto teams that an Edmonton guy will cheer for, right? And they're the Blue Jays and the Raptors. And the Raptors aren't any good right now. But you know what? A summertime, like in July and August, certainly on my deck, at 5 o'clock, a Jays game goes on, and I keep a half an eye on it while I'm got steaks on the barbecue or whatever I'm doing. And when they're relevant, it just makes summer more fun for me. I love baseball, but I love baseball when you could actually care who wins, you know? And when the Jays are 30 games out, it kind of sucks. So if they're going to be in this thing, I'm ready to go along for the ride, man. How about you?
Oh God, yeah. No, now it's a long season. They're only halfway through, but you know what? They're coming on. They're playing well. You got the Yankees. You know, you win tonight, and now you're tied for first place. And so, you know what? First place is on the line tomorrow, which is fantastic. It just makes for kind of an exciting series midway. I think they already have the tiebreaker against the Yankees, so that would be an advantage if, like, you know what? Because they don't play 1-game tiebreakers anymore, so that stuff matters for sure. And, you know, the Jays right now, they're winning because they're getting contributions everywhere. Like, we know they still need another starting pitcher, and they probably need a few more relievers, but, you know, they got a lot of guys going, and like Marshall hasn't even played. Like, he's their best defensive fielder, and he's barely played. So there's still reason to believe that they could get better later in the year, even without trades.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, baseball, 2/3 of the league is out of it at the, you know, whenever their trade deadline is. So if you need guys, you go get them. Let's go, man. Having a relevant Blue Jays is good for summer in Canada from coast to coast. And I don't care if all those people in Vancouver cheer for Seattle. They still got to cheer for Toronto a little bit, don't they?
I don't know, maybe. But, hey, man, I don't care who you cheer for as long as you enjoy the games. That's what matters to me. And, you know, the Jays are definitely fun to watch right now, and that makes it good. So it's enjoyable, and you're right. It does make the summer go by quick. It is amazing, though. Like, we're already into July, and then you got, you know, you get to August, and all of a sudden now you got camps. For training camps. And now the good news, Beck, this will be the final year of long training camps. They're going to be cut down almost in half starting the following season. It is going to be amazing for fans, medias, and player. Unbelievable.
Are we starting the season sooner then? Or are we just starting camp later?
No, my understanding is they might start the regular season might be starting like September 30th.
Okay, so that's about a week.
A week earlier, yeah.
I'm with you on this. I don't care about camp, and I certainly don't care about preseason. But let's not make summer longer per se. Let's start the season a little bit sooner, right? And we will make summer longer. We'll take a week off the end of the season. That's what I think everyone wants to do here.
Well, that'd be great. But
cool.
It's hard to do when you got 2 days between every game in the Stanley Cup final, for goodness sakes.
I know, buddy. If you and me around the league, it'd be a smoother place.
Well, you know, hey, for guys who are like the athletes are way better today, but they need way more time off. It's interesting how that works.
I don't get that. And the travel's easier, but they need more time off. I don't get it, buddy.
Yeah. Well, Edmonton, Florida is pretty far. Obviously, that's the farthest one the last 2 years, so I get it. But, you know, in other years, maybe if it's a little bit closer, I know it's east and west. It's never going to be super close, but, you know, if you had a central team in the cup final against an eastern team, like, I don't think you need 2 days between travel days at that point.
Nope. Absolutely.
Spec, enjoy the Jays. Hey, the Jays got a little rally going in the first inning here, so I'll let you get back to barbecuing. Don't burn yourself, and we'll talk in a moment.
All right, brother.
There you go. That's Mark Spector. The Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. We'll take a quick break. We'll return. DVD is going to join us. What happened? Everything was looking so good. And then dud. We'll tell you about what we're discussing next on the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X, is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The summer drive event is on now at Buick. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 60 months on the 2025 Buick Envision. Make your presence known with available 20-inch alloy wheels with pearl nickel finish. Showcase your style with available quilted perforated front leather appointed seats. and radiate confidence on any drive with Buick's suite of standard safety features. Get behind the wheel of your Buick Envision today. Ask your Buick dealer for details.
New crust alert at Papa John's. Your favorite cheese meets your favorite pizza in the new cheddar crust pizza for only $17.99. Papa John's pizza makers created the perfect addition to their crust by melting garlic and herb seasoned cheddar cheese right on top of their fresh original dough that's made with 6 simple ingredients. Try a one-topping cheddar crust pizza today for only $17.99. You better hurry though, because it's only for a limited time. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, proudly locally owned and operated.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night, call Legacy. Call Legacy. If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable, call Legacy. Call Legacy. And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Canada's biggest appliance sale is at the Brick. Get up to $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Convertible fridge freezers start at just $199. Barbecue start at just $299. Get up to 60% off clearance models and below-cost scratch and dent items in-store only. Plus, pay 0% interest on appliances until 2029. Best of all, they'll beat any competitor's advertised price. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Your hard hat and huddle up. Your Edmonton Elks take on the Ottawa Red Blacks this Sunday at 5. It's the first ever hard hat huddle game, presented by Purolator Tackle Hunger, featuring excavators and diggers in the tailgate and construction-themed in-game contests. Tickets start at just $20. Score yours now at goelks.com.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business. Breaking news: McDonald's international menu items are vanishing. McPizza bites missing in Italy. Big Rusty stolen from Germany. Teriyaki chicken sandwich disappears in Japan. And a Biscoff McFlurry blackout in Belgium. Oh, this just in. We can now confirm the stolen favorites have resurfaced at McDonald's Canada. The international menu heist. Try them all while you can. For a limited time in participating McDonald's in Canada.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV. Did you wake up this morning and think, I want to be a used RV salesman? If you're like most people, the answer is no. But if you want to sell your quality used RV yourself, then a used RV salesman is what you are.
Welcome to your new job.
That's right, Bob. Put it up on all the best websites. Wait for the phone to ring and be ready day or night, weekday or weekend. Drive out to the storage lot for every random tire kicker who calls and hope that what you have is exactly what they want.
There's an easier way to do this, Rick.
That's right, Bob. You could bring it to No Bull RV. We love selling used RVs, and the customers are already here. Commercials like this, bring them in by the hundreds. All you need to do is cash the check when it leaves our lot. Used RV salesman is not what you wanted to be when you woke up this morning. And if it was, well, I think you better come out here and apply for a job.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products are not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Sports Radio is back. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Declan Kruger, and oh my goodness, they're going crazy in Toronto. Barger just hit a 3-run shot. 5-0. Bottom of the first. There you go. Ooh, mama. So fun to watch the Jays right now. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Might have to I'm gonna look at it right now just for fun. And I'm gonna find for baseball the I try to find what are the odds for the Jays to win the World Series or just win the AL East even. I might have to look that up at PlayAlberta.ca. Never know. Never know. Let's talk a little. Hey, the Jays are a great Canadian story, but there was also a very disappointing Canadian story recently. We're going to get to that right now. Derek Van Diest joins us. DVD. We'll get to the NHL and stuff in a second. But man, Canada, Guatemala, what the hell happened?
That was bad. That was bad. That was embarrassingly bad. You can't be losing to Guatemala for starters. I know Canada started well. It played well, and then Schaffelberg took 2 really dumb yellow cards in the first half. The second one was ridiculous. Like, if you're on a yellow card, you cannot run a guy over after he kicks the ball. I remember when I'm reffing, I've told guys so many, like, it's not hockey. You can't finish your check in soccer. Once the ball is played, you can't run over a guy. That's almost an automatic yellow card. Everybody in soccer knows that. He gets the second yellow card, and then, yeah, it just all went downhill. It was always going to be tough from there, but, yeah, you can't be losing to Guatemala, especially if you think that you're a contending team and you want to get out of your group next year at the World Cup. You got to win these games. You got to beat these teams. Guatemala is not going to get anywhere near the World Cup next year. So, yeah, that's a terrible loss by a team that wants to prove to the world that they're a good soccer team. And yet, if you want to do that, you got to win these games. Like, they should be playing the United States right now in the semifinal. Like, it should not be Guatemala. And it's something that, you always talk about, well, you learn from this, you learn from this, you learn from this. But these lessons seem to be coming year after year after year with this program, and they got to figure it out because next year the World Cup is here, and there are going to be expectations on this team to fare well, not just to be in it. Like they were like 4 years ago, they were just in it, and they fared pretty well for a team that was just happy to be there. But this time around, they're expected to win some games, and you're not going to do that playing that way. So it's regroup for this team, and hopefully they come back next summer and put in a better performance.
Yeah, it was frustrating. Really, it was physical. Like, I'm sorry, you can't take that red card.
No,
like, that's you got to be more disciplined in those games. Like, I'm sorry, like that was an easy red card for the officials to make for Canada, and so I don't think you can do that. It's disappointing. So we'll see. Hey, what if quickly sticking with that, Juventus has got a Canadian now.
Yeah, Jonathan David going to Juventus. That's a big move. That's a huge club. Like, that's a massive club, and he's kind of been working his way up the system here. And that's a big thing for him to go there. And good on him. Like, he's earned it. He's played well at every level. He's shown that he can score. Italy's going to be tough because Italy's the best defensive league in the world. Those guys, the Italians, it's funny because other countries, when you have your best player, you put him at forward or you put him in midfield. The Italians' best players always play defense. So that's why that makes that league really tough to score in. Really tough. It's a tough competitive league. It's still one of the best in the world, in my opinion. The Italian league's still up there with the English and the German and the Spanish and the other big leagues. So that's a big move for a Canadian that deserves it. And so that's going to be really exciting to see how well he does next year. You hope him well. You hope he does well because that's an exciting move to get to a club of that caliber or that level for a Canadian to go up and play there.
Yeah, no, it's huge, right? Like, that's huge for him, and that's really, it makes the program because now he's playing against better competition on a nightly basis. So that will be good. So I like. Now let's go to the NHL. The Oilers fairly quiet, like 2 moves. And I know last year, everybody's like, oh, yeah, Arvidsson, Skinner. And hey, I was one who thought Skinner would work out. It didn't work out. So this year they went with Lazar and really Mangiapane. That's the two moves they made. What do you make of it?
Well, I think Rob Tychkowski wrote this. I was reading this story. It's better to make no moves than to make bad moves. And I think last year, you're right. I was excited about the moves last year. I'm going to be there. I thought Skinner would come in and he would play lights out, be motivated to play in the playoffs. And he just didn't fit. It just didn't fit. They couldn't find a spot for him. It took him a while to find his game. And then after that, the coach necessarily didn't like him. He just didn't want to play him. And then Arvidsson came in here. I thought the same thing. Oh, this guy's a bulldog. He's like dog on a bone on the puck. But he came in and the same thing. It just didn't work out. So I thought the moves last year, a lot of people were excited about the moves last year. They looked like they'd improved on paper, and they didn't. Well, you can make an argument that they didn't, but they did get to the Cup final. But those two guys weren't part of that playoff run, or weren't a big part of that playoff run. Yeah. This year, they like Kapanen. They re-signed Kapanen. They Trent Frederick. They believe that he's going to be a player. They signed him not based on the playoffs, because the playoffs, he admitted he didn't have a very good playoffs. So they signed him for 8 years. They think he can be a guy that can be in here, provide what I guess Evander Kane was providing, coming in some toughness and hopefully some finish. And Mangiapane, he's a top 6 forward who scored 35 goals. What is it, 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago? So he's got that capability. You play him with players of the ilk of McDavid or Draisaitl, maybe he can open up, maybe he can score 30-some goals for you again this year. So I think it was they needed someone in the top 6, and they went and got him. And you're looking at that list. Mangiapane was probably the second best guy on that list of forwards available, free agent wise. They got him at a good price. And then Lazar, hometown guy, played here with the Oil Kings, had so much success, and I think he's done well to kind of stretch out the career for as long as he has, because he's always had to battle for everything he's hot. So he come in here, he can battle for a fourth line spot. He still has the energy and be the player that people saw him here with the Oil Kings. So, yeah, I think it's one of those things. And I think the big thing, too, Jason, is that now they have some cap space, too, though. They can play with some cap space, figure things out during the regular season. And then if they need something for the playoff run, they can go out and get it. They can go out and get a big name, get a big splash. They might be able to do that. So, I think Stan Bowman saw what the team did last year and probably didn't want to repeat the same mistakes. And you can call them mistakes because they didn't work out. Jeff Skinner wasn't playing in the playoffs, and Arvidsson sat game 6. So it didn't work out, the guys that they brought in last year. So they were moving on from them. And, I think on paper, maybe this team is not as good because you lost a lot of quality NHLers. You lost Kane, you lost Brown, you lost Perry, you lost Klingberg. So you lost some guys, and you're hoping to replace them with other guys that maybe can step in and fill those roles.
Yeah. I look at the Oilers, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that the trade deadline is going to be where they make the moves. Were you surprised at all that they didn't do anything in goal other than Matt Tompkins as number 3?
A little, but the goaltending market wasn't that great, was it? Like, I don't think these guys want to make a lateral move in goal. Like, if you're going to make a move, you're going to have to make a move that's obviously improved your goaltending. And I know that that's been a lightning rod here in Edmonton, and everyone wants to improve the goaltending. But I think now you have a chance to kind of not rush into something, and maybe towards a trade deadline, if you have a team that's not going anywhere, or if a team that wants to shed a really quality goalie, then maybe you're able to get him to help you in the playoff run. Because to me, Stan Bowman is looking strictly at playoffs now. They think this is a team we'll just get in the playoffs, and now we're focused on the playoffs and the playoff run, and we're going to get guys that can help us in the playoffs. And I think you get a better gauge of what you need towards a trade deadline than maybe you do in the summer. So I think that's what he's looking at. But there wasn't a lot out there, in my opinion, to try and improve the goaltending. Maybe he could have made a trade, but I think any trade at this moment would have been a lateral move. And if it doesn't work out, then you're like, oh, we made a trade. We gave up on a young goalie. He's going into his 4th year in the league. He's already gone to the Cup final twice. I don't think they want to give up on Stuart Skinner. He has 1 more year in his contract. Let's see what he can do, and then we go on from there.
DVD, have yourself a great one. Enjoy the week, And lots going on, actually. The Stingers are playing great. The Riverhawks, the Elks have a huge game on Sunday. You got the Jays happening right now. What do you do? I know you cover all the teams. Do you feature stories? You get some time off here?
I got a little bit of time off. I'm going to Riverhawks game tonight. Gonna enjoy the sun. It's really hot out. I'll be at the Elks game on Sunday. Got season tickets to Elks, so I'm looking forward to that game. And then I got to get out to a Stingers game. I know they played yesterday. Unfortunately, it was trade deadline day, so it was kind of busy. Free agency day, so it was busy. I couldn't get out to the Stingers game. They started at 5 yesterday. But I'm going to get out there. So I'm going to try and enjoy. The summer in Edmonton is a lot of fun. If you go out there and enjoy it, there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of places to go. So I'm going to try and enjoy it all in, and then before you know it, we'll be talking about rookie camps and things like that, and we'll get back in it. So I'm going to kind of lay low this summer and hope to have some fun here in Edmonton.
DVD, we'll be talking to you often, buddy. Have a good one.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
There you go. That's Derek Van Diest from NHL.com. Obviously, a huge soccer guy as well. And we'll be covering some Riverhawks and everything else. So we got a busy summer, man. There's lots going on. Right? We're going to talk a little Stingers tomorrow. The Stingers are rolling right now. Absolutely rolling, heating up at the right time. Almost kind of like how their head coach predicted. We're hoping to get the head coach on tomorrow. And kind of said, you know what? I think it's going to take our team a little bit of time to get on the same page. We'll talk to him or Doug McLean, one of the two, tomorrow on the show. And the Stingers are obviously rolling right on, kind of like the Blue Jays. We talked about it. The Jays win tonight, and they are tied with the Yankees atop the AL East. You got Jose Barrios on the mound tonight for the Jays. He comes in, he gets in the first inning, and it's very rare that you can step on the mound for your first pitch in the bottom of the inning, and you're like, I got a 7-run lead. Well, that's what he has, is the Jays are leading 7 Cobb after 1 inning. Kirk had a 2-run double, RBI double, then Barger hit a 3-run blast, and then later on, David Schneider hit a 2-run shot. And so, man, you're a Jays fan in that game tonight. You had the big win yesterday, now they're pumped, and it's the Yankees. Make no mistake about it, man. Like, it's a long season, but there are certain games. It's like you're an Oiler fan, and you're at the game, and the Oilers are spanking the Leafs or the Canucks. It's just different than spanking the Columbus Blue Jackets. You know how it is. Makes it a little bit more entertaining, a little bit more exciting. So that's good. And we'll see where it goes. We'll take our final break of the show. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We come back. We got a lot of texts to get to on baseball, on hockey. Some of you feel the Oilers are in trouble. We'll find out why next.
What does excellence truly mean, and how does it guide your choices? At Volvo Cars Edmonton, excellence isn't just a goal, it's their standard. They shine in every aspect, from top-tier customer satisfaction in sales and service to impressive inventory, strong customer loyalty, and prices that are tough to match. Experience the dedication to quality firsthand at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better service. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The dog days of summer means baseball. Every weekend, Sports 1440 carries Toronto Blue Jays ball games. Ben Shulman will have the call. Grab a cold one and tune in this weekend to Blue Jays baseball on Sports 1440.
Reports suggest that Canadian taste buds are bored to tears.
My mouth can't handle another dull drink.
Summertime smoothie experts everywhere are recommending a watermelon wake-up from Booster Juice.
It's so smooth, cool, and refreshing.
And ridiculously delicious. Enjoy the Watermelon Wave and Watermelon Explosion smoothies, available all summer long at a Booster Juice near you. Stay cool, Canada.
Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
The sun is shining, the weather's warm, and some of Edmonton's favorite sports are back in season. If you're looking for the cherry on top of a perfect summer day, check out Play Alberta to experience casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Download the Play Alberta app today and deposit $20 or more with promo code SUMMER to claim a $100 casino bonus. That's promo code SUMMER for a $100 casino bonus on us. Redeemable once per Play Alberta account. Remember, if you gamble, please use your game sense.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They are the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in project, service, and TAG, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
He's Alberta's sports authority and lead touchdown winner of his family's backyard flag football games. The Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.543. Welcome back. Jason Gregor. Declan Cougar. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. Of course, Instagram as well. So check it out. We got lots and lots of texts. A lot of great texts, actually, today. A wide array of texts, which I like, because we know we're a sports talk show. I love hockey, obviously, but we like talking all sports. Do you want to get to, we've had a few of these from people. Hey, Gregor, have you heard anything on Maxim Bearskin? Is he coming over to Edmonton this year? He was what, 5th rounder in 2020? No, him and his agent have informed the Oilers that he is going to play one more season in Russia. He had a good year last year in Yaroslav with 15 goals, 42 points in 66 games. He is 20. He'll turn 24 in October, but he's going to spend one more season in Russia, and then he plans to come over and give it a shot in the NHL. That's the latest on Bearskin. So good question. I know Oilers fans are always up to date on all of the prospects. So that's the latest for him. Now let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Well, think about how hot it is out today. You're getting home, you got SWAS. Oh my goodness, I need an AC unit. Well, no payments, no interest for 1 full year on your AC unit. Book today at legacyheating.ca. Cam Tate, longtime journalist in Edmonton. Cam, of course, born with cerebral palsy, being in a wheelchair. But Cam's never let his disability stop him. He's been writing for many years. He's always wanted to get in radio, but was unable to until now. Through the wonders of technology, Cam's words come to life in the 2-minute warning.
Period. All right. Settle down, Gregor. It's the 2-minute warning with Tater, and you know what that means. We're diving deep into the what-if department. And let me tell you, the waters around the Edmonton Oilers goaltending situation are getting mighty murky. Now, we've been spinning this yarn about the Oilers needing a stopper so many times, the thread's getting thin. And it's legitimate, absolutely. You can't win in this league without a guy who can stand on his head. But what if the answer isn't in some highly touted prospect or a big-name free agent? What if it's in the wisdom of the ancients? Here's where it gets good. NHL.com, bless their hearts, did a day in the life of Gary Bettman during the Stanley Cup Finals right here at Rogers Place. And in one of those segments, you see the commish up in the press box yapping with none other than Scotty Bowman. Yeah, that's Scotty Bowman, Stan Bowman's dad. And what's Scotty telling Bettman? He's saying he and Stan took a drive west of Edmonton to visit, wait for it, Mr. Goalie himself, Glenn Hall. Gregor, did you know Hall played 503 consecutive games without a mask? 503. That's not just Iron Man, that's Titanium Man. Now, Hall, at 93, is still sharp as a tack. And here's the kicker. He played for Scotty Bowman back in the late 70s with the St. Louis Blues. The respect there, immeasurable. So, you've got Scotty Bowman, one of the greatest hockey minds ever, with his son Stan, the Oilers GM. And they're visiting Glenn Hall, the legend, a man who literally stared down pucks with nothing but his face. You have to think, honestly, that the subject of goaltending came up during that visit. You have to think Scotty Bowman has his eyes peeled to help his son. And you know Mr. Goalie, with his vast experience, still has some intel on young netminders. on what makes a truly great goalie. That's something you cannot mask. So, what if the answer isn't on a scouting report from some junior league or in a trade proposal? What if it's a tip, a whisper, a nugget of wisdom passed down from a legend to a legend, and then to the man who needs it most? Imagine that. The Oilers' next great goalie found through a conversation in rural Alberta. It's the what if department, baby, and this one feels just right. I'm Cam Tate. You're listening to the Jason Gregor Show. Monday, Wednesday, and Fun Friday with Gregor reading my chirping words. Sports 1440. Don't go anywhere.
It's Cam Tate, 2-minute warning. But it's like when you think of records that are never going to be broken, 503 consecutive starts as a goalie, like mark it down. We could, in some weird ultra world, someone might, break Gretzky's record of 215 points. I don't think so. But if there was one where I can say 1,000, like I would bet every dollar I had that no goalie is ever starting 503 consecutive games. Ever. Again, it's never happening. Right? Goalies, like, I got to think, what's the longest consecutive start streak right now active in the NHL? Like, is it longer than 15 games? Never mind 503. Like, come on, that is never, ever happening. No chance, nada, zero. None. Never going to happen. It's one of the greatest, it's one of the greatest ones ever. I got to ask, is the Yankees bullpen beat up? Deck or not? Like, Warren gave up 7 in the first. Now he's got the first 2 runners on in the second. I don't even see anybody warming up in the bullpen. What the hell's going on here? Like, are they just saying, "Hey, we got to save our bullpen, so we're just gonna, we're gonna take this one on the chin tonight"?
Yeah, I mean, so Luis Gil, he's out. Fernando Cruz, he's out. Yarborough's out. But the biggest thing is the Jays are just that team, baby. Team of destiny, finally. Oh. Like, everything's fine. Are you watching these guys right now? I mean, they hung 7 on them, bottom of the first.
Everything's they're hitting is good, but it's crazy. Like, I just, at some point, you're like, maybe we got to get this guy out of here. But he's throwing.
They actually have more pitchers injured too that I didn't even go into, like Garrett Cole, Jake.
Yeah.
Like, there's
they got a lot of guys banged up. So maybe they're just saying, "Hey, we're this guy. We're just going to grit our teeth here, and he's going to give us 3 innings to try to get." Like, right now, he can't even hit the strike zone. Like, this is looking like some guys in slow pitch when the guys on the other bench are just chirping them, right? And they just get off their game. They can't do it.
That was my team for like 2 years. We won 1 game in 2 summers. Tough look for us.
Hey, Greggs, do you think the Oilers need to extend Stuart Skinner to cover themselves for after this year? What's the risk Stu signs as a UFA elsewhere next summer? From West End Rob. Oh, man. Rob, I haven't even thought of that. He is a UFA at the end of next season. That is well, is he? Because would he have that many? Because I thought he'd be under. I thought your birthday has to be before July 1st. I'll double check that. Would he be a UFA already? Guess it's possible because he won't be. He'll be 27. What am I saying? He's 26 now. Duh. Yeah, he's a UFA next year. So, I don't know if they like. I think they can wait on that. If I'm being totally honest, like it's, Stu Skinner is a player that now, depending on how his season goes, sure. But if you look at it. And, so potential goalie free agents next year are Philip Gustafsson, Stuart Skinner, Sergei Bobrovsky, Jacob Markstrom, Anthony Stolars, Freddie Anderson, Connor Ingram, although Connor Ingram's not playing right now. So, there's not a lot. So I guess, but if you're Edmonton and really, if you're Stuart Skinner, he's played a lot. His numbers, some of them aren't great. Others are okay. But what would he be looking for? It's a good question. I don't know if they have to rush to sign him just yet. I think both sides would probably, kind of want to see how it goes. But it's an interesting question. One, honestly, I haven't really put much thought into, to be honest. I don't think everybody always has to sign an extension a year before they're a free agent. I think you try to do that to your superstar players. And I think it's fair to say that Skinner is not a superstar player. So we'll see. Hey, Gregor, I'm guessing the Oilers are done with free agency. Do you envision them bringing in a couple of wingers on PTOs as insurance in case Savoy and or Tomasek have poor camps? It's a fair question. Sure. You always could. I don't think, though, that Matt Savoy, he would have to really struggle, I think, in training camp. I think if you're Matt Savoy, look at Matt Savoy. He's going to look at the depth chart. He is going to be ecstatic. He's got, you always are motivated to want to play. But I think you're more motivated when you see, legit openings as a young player and say, man, I believe in myself. I learned lots about my game last year. I'm ready. He did get a few games in the NHL. He didn't look out of place in those games. He didn't get a ton of ice time. That's fine as a young player. The Oilers were a team that was going for the cup, so I get it. But yeah, I don't have Matt Savoy. I don't know if the training camp will make or break it. I think Matt Savoy is probably going to start in Edmonton, and then will have to play his way to remain on the team, which is how it should be for any player who still doesn't require waivers, right? That would be what you want. So we'll see. Hey, Gregor, with the new playoff on-ice salary cap being implemented in the coming season, if a team has bonus and bio cap implications, will they be able to spend that during the playoffs? Well, no. Your 20-man roster, you don't get to spend that stuff. You're 20. First of all, any sort of a buyout happens, and those are carryover. And I know, to me, that's an interesting part. That's where the teams get a little bit of leeway, because in the regular season, your buyouts and your bonus count. Now, I've argued, to me, that should still count to your playoff roster. Why shouldn't it? Now, because you're giving them the leeway. In the regular season, you can have, 23, 22, 21 players. In the playoffs, if you're only counting your 20-man game day roster, you're already giving them a break. You're already giving them more money, because no team just carries 20 all season. They might do it for a day or two, but most teams are carrying 21, 22. Some are carrying 23. So I think it's a valid question. I haven't seen all those details on that yet. And because it doesn't start for another year, I'm kind of taking my time weeding through it. Because it hasn't, I haven't seen an official one yet, because, they still got to do the MOU and get that signed. But it's a valid question to me. Your bonus overages, if you have any, which just wouldn't, but if you have bonus overages from the previous year that are against your regular season cap, they should count in the playoffs, as should any buyout cap. That shouldn't get erased too, because now you're getting even more benefit. So we'll see. I don't know how deep they'll go on that. Have yourselves a wonderful Wednesday. Stay cool. It is hot, dangerously hot out there, so stay cool. Please keep your pets out of the vehicle, or, take them out of the vehicle with you. Don't leave them in. Let's get to Declan Kruger and a Sports 1440 update, brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Lotto 649. The OG tonight. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Edmonton Oilers news is the club has signed forward Curtis Lazar to a one-year deal worth $775K. The St. Louis Blues have signed UFA forward Pui Suter to a 2-year, $8 million contract. He's coming off a 25-goal, 46-point season with the Vancouver Canucks. MLB scores around the league right now. Jay is beaten up on the Yankees. That one's 7-0 in at the top of the third. Other scores around the league include the Mets leading the Brewers 5-0 in the top of the third, and the Reds showing the Red Sox 1-0 in the bottom of the third. And NBA news is DeAndre Ayton has signed with the Lakers after being bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers. The New York Knicks are expected to hire former two-time Coach of the Year Mike Brown as their next head coach. And Edmonton Elks news is they have added American defensive lineman Tyreek Johnson to the practice roster. Tamari Fox has been placed on the 6-game injured list with the ankle injury, and Tyrese Johnson joins the Green and Gold after 5 seasons with the South Carolina Gamecocks. Edmonton Riverhawks in action tonight down at Remax Field versus Port Angeles, 7:05 first pitch for that one. I'm Declan Kruger. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossings